이번에 준비되어 있는 매치는 당락이 결정되는 그런 정말 중요한 매치라고 봐야겠죠.
과연 어떤 승부가 펼쳐질 것인지 경기 보시죠.
이렇게 싸우면 괜찮나?
나 좋아. 한번 상대 빨라 일단 미드.
바로 와줄 수 있는?
가고 있어.
야 먹고 빼볼래 이거?
먹었어. 불만가? 뭐안 돼?
풀도는 빼봐.
풀 빼맞아. 피하면 돼. 풀도 안 쓰마.
켜
잡겠어.
산테 면이 된다?
야 럼블 상태 개구리긴 해 이거. 형 아래로 갔는데? 늑대 아래로 간다.
오케이
노플이야 노플.
잡은 듯?
아
죽을 듯?
잡았어
녹턴도 너무 좋다잉.
탑 이득 많이 봐봐 이번에
이거
이러면 내가 갚아줄 수 있어. 그냥 솔킬 딸만해. 죽으면 하겠다. 럼블 잡은 거 같은데? 럼블 잡았어.
개먹고 용보다.
용 40초야
나궁 돌았어 이거.
나 살짝 물릴 수도 있다 이거.
괜찮아 봐줄게.
니코 볼게 나 니코 볼게.
오케이.
괜찮아
녹턴 노플이야.
우선 봐줘.
녹턴 잡았어 얘들아
잡았어 너 빨면서.
럼블.
야 럼블
암랩터. 천천히 해봐 암랩터.
럼블 노플
좋아.
아래 괜찮긴 한데.
난 끝이야.
나 더블 내거든 이거
오 니코 밟아.
나 뒤가
나도
안나
뒤가 안 나. 나도 뒤가 안 나.
나 이거 애니비아 쪽 각 나오는데
나 집텔.
야 나 진 볼게
야 진짜 좋다.
진 봐도 진
이제 노플이.
좋아요.
노플이긴 해 노플. 배려 있다.
잘 누르긴 했어.
애니비아 봐줄래?
안 좋아요.
이겨야겠다 이거.
나 가는 중.
저거 안 좋은데. 너 죽일 수 있나? 야 죽은 거 같긴 한데 이거.
야 잡다 야 잡고 바로는
아니야 용하자.
영하다 용 나이스
까비요.
진 노플이야
럼블도 높을.
스펠 다 빠져있을 때 바론 치고 싸움 보는 거 별로야?
나 좋아 보이긴 해 우리가 지뢰각도 좋아 보인다
어때?
니코플만 돌리고 싸움 보는 거 어때?
풀려고 해야 좋겠네 나는.
쳐볼게
치고
이번에.
어디까지 오면 어디로 뚫을지 말만해. 무조건 이겨.
엔비아 쪽 뚫자 얘들아.
나 애니비아 쪽 궁 대고 이거
라인 천천히
나 먼저 풀지를 생각할게. 봐줄래.
야 넘어갈게 우리
라인 좀 살게.
나줘.
나도 버려. 나 살았다.
바론 치야 되냐?
나 궁 한번 더 천천히.
나도 궁 되게
공 쳐줘 맞아.
궁 한번 써볼게.
치 한번 돼요?
시하면 돼 이제.
나 이거 볼게 나도 이거
멈춰. 바드 봐봐.
바로 볼게 바드
나 산테.
같이 봐봐.
산테가 필이거든. 산테 잡았는데.
딴테만.
녹턴 잡아봐 녹턴
네 스마 썼다.
야 지금 볼수 있는데 이거.
지금 봐봐.
야진 노플
볼게.
파란 써도 돼?
불 쏠게.
풀은 다 뺐다 그래도. 나쁘지 않아.
형의 오더 굿 현민이 형 잘했다
굿. 나 디테일 되거든. 디테일 볼게 이거. 천천히 보자.
봐줘.
확인.
불 꺼져야 될 것 같은데 이거.
야 오른쪽으로 보자. 오른쪽 보자. 달려있는데.
나 가는 중.
야 뒤태.
오케이.
이즈
라인
노플
올렸어, 라인 올렸어.
잡아.
야 들러줘.
라인
라이즈
라이즈,
맞아.
라이즈.
라이즈 맞아.
라인 노플.
내가 맞아줄게.
아래 살려봐. 지금 젠.
젠프했어.
진 봐봐 진.
위에 많이 줘.
아래 봐줘야 돼.
가보네. 럼블.
럼벨 볼게.
오공 노플 딴테 프리코
딴테 볼게.
오공이 높으려.
봐봐.
봐줘야 돼.
오공이 노플 오공
야 2만 줘. 2만. 역 채워주면.
끝
빠지는 위치만 그냥 잘 맞추면 좋을 것 같아.
디테일이라 그냥 에네비아 텔 쪽으로 다시 미는 게 나겠다. 딜러 쪽으로 보는 게 제일 구도 좋을 것 같긴 하다.
딜러 봐야 될 듯.
야 이거 라이즈 원아. 보자.
오 봤어.
좋은데. 이런 럼블 텔 조심해.
럼블 텔 닦고 가위만 뺄 수 있나?
이즈 노플이긴 해.
노비전.
이거 잠만 시야해줘.
얼마나
이제 노비전.
W
이제 노비전.
니코 몰라?
니코 프리고. 끝내자.
아버네 막이.
라이즈 노플.
야 이거 집 막자
우리 나오긴 하는데 나. 천천히 탑 볼게.
앞라인부터 쳐봐 이거
나공 5초.
이거 애니비아 봐야 돼
야 나야 된다.
천천히 와봐.
이제
엔젤 시키면서.
진복해.
맞아 녹턴 얘들아 미드 가면 안 끝나냐 이거?
아 네, 그냥 바론이 낫지
10초야,
않나?
10초.
10초는 안 될 것 같긴 해.
안 되냐? 이거?
되는데?
해봐.
안 끝나겠지.
끝나나?
얘네 그냥 텔 없어가지고 안 끝나
끝나잖아.
야 아래 타워 깨고 와봐 이거
나 앞에 봐봐.
해봐.
이거 이제 잡아야 돼 이제
이제 CC 됐어. 이제 CC.
이즈 잡아.
오공 잡아야 돼. 라이즈.
얘 노플이야.
나이 4초.
가자. 내 게임.
얘 나 혼자 끝내요 했는데.
네.
뭐야 이거 보여드리겠네? 왜 나왔지? 너무나도 중요한 당락이 결정되는 4활이 걸린 매치인 만큼 그 마지막 순간까지도 꿀잼이었어요.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the game show where you survey and we play. It is LCK Feud. I'm your host, Daniel Digon Gonzalez. I almost forgot my name there, but thankfully I did not forget to bring two competitors to join us who always argue, and now you'll get to know them. Starting with the man who looks like he's sneaking around. Why does he look so suspicious? It's Ox Sausage. Ox!
Hello, happy to be here. Happy to represent the LCK. Hopefully I'm going to crush this noob into the dirt. And thank you for inviting me.
Those are fighting words not approved by the LCK. But his opponent, also from the LCK, and also spent time in the LEC, and also spent time in the LCS. Get in the bag. Let's see if he's able to get the win. It's Pony!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. These guys fake, by the way. I'm a real represent LCK. I'm a real.
I don't know what he meant by that. What did he mean by that? Are you guys ready?
Yes. I think I kind of understand how this works.
I'm perfectly understanding. So I'm good to go.
All right. We asked players from around the world this question here. What gamer food or drink? It was Ox.
Doritos.
Doritos. Okay, a little bit of the triangle action, I see. Let me talk to the producers. My earpiece is on this side. All right, Doritos. Let's see if that answer is on there. There it is, chips. Okay, counts chips. I would have accepted Lay's. I would have accepted potato chips. Anything of that nature. Chips, up there, 9. So, not the top answer. Hooney, your opportunity here. What is a favorite gamer food or drink?
Or drink. You said or drink.
That's right.
Soda.
Soda.
I feel like it has to be more specific. I'm just saying. That's a very vague answer.
Yeah, that's
all
what
right.
I mean. Like,
Okay.
does it have to be like Coke?
Time to buzz in again. Soda. All right, soda. Let's see if it's on there. Soda! It is number 2, 22. Remember, there are 100 responses here. 100 points on the board. Okay, Ox, you have one opportunity here to take control of the board by getting the number 1 answer. If not, it'll be Hooney's decision.
Is soda and chips already gone?
Soda and chips already gone.
That's crazy.
What would I... 5 seconds. 2.
Pizza.
Pizza, not bad. Sometimes, a little greasy. Might be on there, might be on there. All right. Pizza, is it on there?
Can't be.
Oh, no.
Pizza's not there?
What else is it gonna be?
It's not there.
That's so crazy.
I feel like chips and soda covered like all the bases I would have expected, you know. I think
There are 6 more answers up there.
Oh,
So,
God.
Hooney, the decision is up to you. You can continue to play, and then you get 3 chances to try and answer all 6 that are left and get the points. Or you can give it to Ox. He'll get 3 chances to try and clear the board.
I'll toast to this guy.
Oh, wow. Well,
knew
it is
that. I
our
knew it
first pass here. Okay. So,
Cause,
Ox.
you know, cause since he said the pizza, he's so noob.
Oh, no. The smack talk has already started. Ox, it is on to you. 3 chances here for another one of these answers. The number 1 still on the board.
Okay, gamer food or drink. Like just sweets.
Sweets, that's...
Sweet.
Sweets, that's a little wide. I know that. I know.
Soda's wide. Soda's wide.
Soda's wide.
Like I.
But sweets could be like jelly,
sweets on there?
Chips is wide.
Ooh, then you're
All these, like, I would have gone. I was gonna go Doritos and Mountain Dew. That's the classics, and they have chips and soda.
Well,
So it seemed wide.
you got 2 more chances to go anywhere you want other than
smart.
sweets. There are 6 more
Okay, we'll go
answers.
ramen.
Ooh, ramen. The noodle variety. Is it on there?
I doubt it.
Ramen is on there. Ramen is number 3 with 16 of our 100 participants getting this one correct. All right. Ox, still rolling. 2 lives left.
Okay. What
So he has 2 more to go.
He has 2 more fails to go. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. that he
There's
needs
no way this guy can
There's a
fill
lot.
out everything.
I think Cooney might have made the strategic play.
What's it's a game of food.
5 seconds left, by the way.
5 seconds left.
Chocolate.
Chocolate. Okay. I think that might have gone under sweets. Is chocolate on there? Nope. No chocolate. No chocolate is on there. Let's go. All right. We are up on it. Remember, Hooney, if he fails this next one, you still got.
I am ready. I'm so ready.
Okay.
I'm so ready. Keep going.
Ox. 1 more life left. There are 5 correct answers.
What even else would be like a game of food or drink? Like
Gamer, food, or drink?
that's such a. I feel like there's such a limited category. I'm surprised there's 5 more answers after all the stuff I'm just gonna go. I don't know. We'll go big, I guess.
Brendan Burger Valdez is his nickname. Is he an answer here? In favorite gamer, food, or drink? No, it's not. And I think that was some chewing noises to remind you that this answer is about favorite gamer, food, or drink. I don't know why they were chewing noise. Crazy production. Okay, Hooney, it is up to you. Now, if you don't get this answer correct, Ox will get these points. He will get all the points on the board here. So, Hooney, I need 1. There are 5 answers on there, including the number 1 answer for favorite gamer, food, or drink. Need your answer.
I don't know. I'm so cooked. I was gonna do burger, but
Not so easy now, is it? Not so easy.
3, 2, 1.
Tea.
T. Okay, let's see if it's on the board. Remember, if Hooney gets this right, he gets all the points. Iced tea is on there.
Let's go! Let's go! I knew it.
So Hooney will get all the points on the board. Are you okay?
I'm good.
So he gets all 52 points. And so we asked gamers from around the world, what's your favorite gamer, food, or drink? Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. Number 8. It's chicken. Fried chicken, chicken tenders, popcorn chicken. I would have accepted all of it for the gamers.
Yeah.
Put that one down.
100%.
Number 6. Coffee.
That's so true.
The late night gaming sessions. Maybe you got it.
That's so true.
Yeah.
The coffee, energy drinks.
Yeah.
Could be up there.
Let's take a look at number 4. Water. Guys, water. Give me a bowl of water.
Oh, what?
A bowl of water.
I mean, the thing is,
Let me do that once. Do bowl of water.
A boa.
now here's my take, right? Like, I feel like this question is asking, what do you like when you game?
It's an LCK feud. I said it was who our audience voted. These are actual
But that's
votes.
true. Waters are so important.
And guys,
But it's not like it's not a gamer drink.
It's a drink.
No, but it's not a gamer
What,
drink.
you never drink water?
I drink water
I
all the
asked the
time.
same
So that's a
exact
game of
question.
drink?
This is
No,
exactly the same
no.
question.
Mountain Dew and Doritos are gamer food and drink.
And finally, our number 1 answer for the question, favorite gamer, food, or drink?
What is it?
You said it. It's Red Bull. Red Bull was the answer there. Thanks to Red Bull for sponsoring the LCK.
That's true. It's so true. It's so facts. You can never play League of Legends without just Red Bull. It's impossible.
Yeah, we struggled on this one.
Yeah, you struggled indeed. So after 1 round, let's take a look at our scores, starting with this man on our left. He did not get the answers correct, so therefore he gets 0 points.
Wow.
And on the opposite side, he came up clutch there at the end. It's Hooney. He has 52 points.
What did I say? You're fake. I'm real. Oh, chill.
That was aggressive. Now, again, if you don't agree with these answers, you have the opportunity at home to fill out the survey on the LCK Twitter. Make sure to do that right now. But now, right now, it's time for question number 2. We asked 100 players from around the world this question. What is the most OP champ in ARAM? Push the button.
Wait, quick clarification. Is it just normal
ARAM, just ARAM.
No ARAM Mayhem?
Just ARAM.
Oh.
Again, that was a tie. Again, that was, Okay, Huni. That was insane. I hope we have that on film. Huni, what is the most OP champ on ARAM?
I'll start with
Need an answer.
Victor.
Victor. Man, the man from Arcane. He ascends. Is he good in ARAM?
Because he gets so fast, passive fast.
No, that is incorrect.
This is not what is the most OP. It's what people think is the most OP. No one's answering Victor.
Ox, you have the opportunity here to take control of the board.
Oh, Kai'Sa.
Kai'Sa. Again, Void champ. Lots of AP. Could do the damages. Also,
No way.
incorrect.
That's crazy.
All right.
What did you say? What people think?
No, people think Kai'Sa's OP. She's not that OP. They always go the poke build. I stand back and spam W.
That's true. You have to think the most annoying champion play against it.
Kai'Sa.
So, Huni. No, I mean, you didn't have to push the button. Okay, Huni, go.
Jace.
Jace. Again, one lane, shock blast across the whole bridge, or whichever one it is. Let's take a look. Is Jace on there? Jace is the number one answer as most OP champion that our survey participants filled out. So, Huni, yet again, it is your choice. Do you want to play or do you want to pass?
I kind of want to pass this one too. I think there's no way I can fill up these 7 left with the 3 chances.
Huni is a passenger. Time to go to the driver. Ox. You got 7 answers here, but the most popular one is gone.
We're gonna start with a little bit of a classic. Ziggs.
Ooh, a Ziggs connoisseur. I have 2 connoisseurs here, a Rumble connoisseur and a Ziggs connoisseur. Let's see if the Ziggs, who has an ultimate that clears up the map, will be able to be on the board.
That's crazy.
When I got the responses back, it surprised me too.
That's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie, this one surprised me.
All right, next one.
Let's take a look.
Seraphine.
One more time for the camera.
Seraphine. The ult is like the whole lane.
All right, Seraphine. Will it be an encore performance for Ox? Ooh, barely. Only 2 people.
How's it number 8?
Only 2. But 2 points there for the board. 6 answers left here, Ox. You've got 2 lives
right.
left. How you feeling?
Next up, pretty good. Next up, Pike.
You're gone.
Pike, again.
There's no way
Sturin,
Pike is in there.
Maybe Reset City. Let's see, is Pike on there?
I told you.
Pike gets a pentakill every game. What ARAMs are they playing in?
People are
do not-
not, people are not picking Pike.
The only saving
They're not
grace
good.
here,
People-
Ox,
They're not
all
good.
the time.
They're not good enough to play Pike.
the only saving grace here, Ox, is that I think Huni doesn't know either. But there are 6 champions still up here. 6.
You have 1 more to go.
And
by
you
the
have
way.
1 life left. Start clearing some points off.
Okay, let me think.
Make it harder for Huni.
What do people just immediately think this is broken in ARAM? Oh, Master Yi.
You're so cool.
Master Yi normally doesn't go in the lanes when there's only 1 lane. Let's see if this is the answer here that our survey participants put.
I told you.
There's no way, like, Master Yi's a noob stomper.
But you have to think. It's not your MMO.
No,
your yellow is
no.
high for ARAM.
I don't care about that stuff. Like, this is a noob stomper champion. They can't deal with Master Yi.
Zigon, I'm just saying.
Huni?
You got wrong opponents for you.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. But we'll see.
You know what?
Huni,
You know what? I have 2 answers.
I only need 1.
You know what?
We're only gonna count
What?
one.
Do you want support or AP mage? What you want?
Dang, he's calling you out.
Surprise me.
I'm thinking like Xerath or Sona. Both are pretty good.
I need 1.
I'll do Sona.
Okay, Sona. Is it on there for the points? Otherwise, it goes to Ox. Is on it.
No! Sona is so easy and it's so.
Oh, not so easy now, is it?
Oh, Sona is so easy. I should have gone Xerath. No, I should have done it Xerath.
These are our analysts for the LCK. I just wanted to remind everyone that, so maybe they're just used to higher level of play, or maybe they just don't know what they're doing. Let's take a look at the answers here, starting from the bottom and work our way up. Number 7. It's Lux.
Lux was easy.
Lux clears so
was
much of the
easy.
map. What do you mean? No.
Nah, Lux is nerfed in ARAM. She's kind of bad, but
Yeah,
I
she's
guess
kind of bad.
yeah,
she's
you know,
kind of bad, but she's annoying. Maybe.
yeah, I guess.
Like you have a buy.
Number 6.
Oh no, I know what it's gonna be 80 carries. It's gonna be 80 carries.
I wasn't really sure like what 80.
Dr. Mundo was on there as well.
That's a
mayhem.
That's a mayhem
That
man.
has to be mayhem.
That's a mayhem man.
Like in normal ARAM, you never play Mundo. Who
Yeah,
play Mundo?
This
He's
was,
so
this
bad
was
in
the
normal
question.
ARAM.
This was the question. What is the most OP champ in ARAM? This is what we put.
I think Blitzcrank is, you know.
You underestimated our viewers' reading skills. Let's see what number 5 is.
You gonna flame the viewers? Wow.
Mel.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually,
People would answer this if you just said, "What is the most OP champion?" You don't even put ARAM. People hate Mel. Everyone hates Mel.
Yeah, 100% agree. Indeed.
All right, let's see. Answer number 4.
Blitzcrank. Sarah?
It's Jinx. Reset City. It was close. The Master Yi angle
Actually,
made
Jinx is
sense with the
the
Jinx.
most OP 80 carry in ARAM, 100%.
Yeah, she's got long range.
Let's see number 3.
I feel like it might just be more 80 carries.
Zareth. There it was.
Ah, should have been Zareth. Why did I say Sona?
No, hot take. I also think Zareth is bad in ARAM. You just get
I
run
mean, it
over.
is bad, but like, I knew that what people think, you know.
Well, no, you didn't. Number 2. Brand, guys. Brand, you just walk up. You don't even need to hit your minion.
Brand's also bad in ARAM. He's only good at Mayhem. Yeah. He's nerfed in
No,
ARAM.
he's crazier in Mayhem.
No, in Mayhem he's OP, but in normal ARAM he's so nerfed.
I think it's the usual though. Like, it's still good. I mean,
It's okay, it's playable, but yeah, you know, I feel like Mayhem has influenced a lot of these
It's
answers.
actually kind of surprised to me, like, there's no Karthus too. Like,
Yeah,
you know, Snowball Karthus.
There's a
You know,
couple
the
that could've
champions who run games, it's like Karthus, it's like Pyke, it's like Katarina, it's like Aurelia.
True.
Aurelia gets so boosted in that
Like,
game mode.
Raven.
Oh my, I mean Aurelia, you just Q on them and you're so tanky because you take like 13% less damage or something crazy.
All right, well, after our 2 questions, let's take a look at the leaderboards. Starting with Ox, he got the stolen points from the last one. Oosh. And it's 28 points here for Daniel Ox Harrison.
Are we scoring this like golf?
No.
Oh.
And your winner, on the opposite side, he called out his opponent and backed it up just like his play. There it is, 52 points. He is the winner of the matchup here between Ox and Huni. Huni, the floor is yours. What do you want to say to your opponent?
He said, you know, he said easy. You know, that's what he told me before the start of the show. You were the easy one.
Oh. Ox?
I'm not wrong. Everyone else was wrong.
That's very sausage. And if you don't agree with that sentiment, it's time for you to hop into the form on the LCK Twitter and put in your answers for the next LCK feud. Again, Huni wins against Ox in today's action. On behalf of everyone here, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time for LCK feud. It's you survey and we play. You want to rip my mustache off?
I feel better now.
just scar to show. Each fall curves something deep. The center of the world lead the way. Everyone was mine to make. Every scar is a line I've drawn. Every wall is a sign I've worn. I don't just win, I carve my name into the stone against a flame. Just when I lift my mark into the stone.
KT에 대한 어떤 예상치라든가 기대가 완전 달라질 것 같고요.
5년에 한 이렇게 풀립니다. 넥서스가 파괴됩니다. 북벌 성공 21차.
한진브리온, 브리온의 역사상 최고의 전성기죠. 홍사령관의 자리를 위임받았습니다. 벤지가 리그 1왕일 때부터 계속 보여줬던 그 승리의 흐름 나왔습니다. T1이라는 팀을 보면요, 계속 성장하는 팀이라는 게 느끼는 게 슈퍼 플레이를 확실히 보여줍니다.
누구도 그들을 막을 수 없습니다. 1을 확정짓습니다.
누가 왕인지 결과로 증명합니다. 하나씩.
They are back to back.
Hello and welcome to the LCK Road to MSI. We are here for the first day, the first best of 5. I am Valdez, with me is Ox, and we have D plus Kia up against Bro. Bro barely squeaking in the last seed here, so they do have to face off against D plus Kia, who are the second to last seed, as you can imagine, here for our first match. How are you doing today, Ox?
I'm doing good. It's a tough road for either of these teams if they want to make it all the way through, with it being that gauntlet system that used to be the way playoffs were in the LCK once upon a time. It does make it a tricky path, but we have seen teams sometimes gain that momentum as they progress through, but obviously it starts today, starts now, best of 5, and obviously with it being Fearless, always spices things up with it being that Fearless best of 5 as you get deeper. There's also a new patch today which will further make it exciting to see what changes on the day and what teams bring out with some changes on the meta.
Yeah, so HLE and T1, they are locked for one of them getting the first seed, right? One of those teams will be our first seed going into MSI. Not a big surprise, I would say. I mean, definitely looking at Gen G as, you know, squeaking in at third. That might be the other team you're like, hey, where are they? But certainly the potential favorite to get a second seed into MSI.
And notably, because the LPL won first stand, they have both of their seeds going through to the group stages of MSI, and the second seed for LCK will have to play through play-ins. So going to be the first seed goes straight through, whereas the second seed does actually have to play through. This is the new patch, though, that we are seeing. Void Grubs have been buffed, so more dot damage and more health on them. This is alongside a series of changes to try and put melee supports back on the map. Literally with this one, trying to get them back out on the map to prioritize playing for Void Grubs, where we often saw melee supports, things like Nautilus, Alistair, moving up to prioritize setting up for those early Void Grub fights. And also a bit of a buff to the role quest for mid lane, which we did see change with that bonus AD and AP, just an increase to the power there. Now these are the changes to the support role. Dreammaker has been nerfed in terms of the damage reduction and the damage bonus that you get. There are some changes where now, if it's a dot, it will affect the whole dot. And also, if you do an AoE ability, it will affect the whole AoE ability, the damage bonus, but a third of the effect. Mandate is a big one. It no longer does that effect that we often see on Nami, where, you know, if 2 abilities hit, it does that burst of damage. It now marks an enemy as vulnerable for 6% damage and gives ability haste to immobilize effects. This works really well with champions like Galio. And also extra heli a little nerf. Locket gets a bit more resistances, so expect to see a bit more Locket build. Some other big item updates. Experimental Hexblade getting a nerf for ranged champions, so trying to move it out of the hands of things like Varus or Vayne. So a little bit of a buff to Heartsteel. And then some tweaks. Moonstone Renewer was double dipping positively with heal and shield power and negatively with Grievous Wounds. So that's been adjusted. Knight's Vow got a buff. Zeke's Convergence is a cool one because basically when he ulted, immediately you got the AoE burn. Now there's like a 5-second grace window where it'll sort of put that off until you get into range of a champion before starting it. So a bit more usability for champions like Nautilus or Leona from the getting range. And then rune changes. Aftershock getting a buff to the power particularly early. Guardian getting a cooldown reduction. It's going to be a little bit weaker early. I mean, to be honest, the base is lower, but, you know, with a lot of bonus HP, you'll pick up, but the cooldown reduce is quite nice. But obviously the shield is a little bit lower. But overall, a power increase. Airy going to get a shield decrease early. And Deathfire Touch, the update there is they're making it magic damage no matter what, to basically reduce the interaction with Black Cleaver. Because a lot of champions like Smolder were abusing it. That's no longer the case. Speaking of Smolder, he's been nerfed for like the 17th time. We didn't see him.
Keep going, Ox.
In the LCK. He's been nerfed again. And Xin Zhao also got a change because basically the healing on his passive was really OP. That's been nerfed, but he's gotten a damage AP ratio that's been increased there. And some other tweaks. I think Diana one's nice. The AP ratio, her monster damage has been buffed a lot on her passive. So maybe Diana we see. I think the rest of these, none of that relevant. I think Diana's the one that...
Quinn Jungle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Don't forget about Quinn Jungle. Or Quungle, as they called it, or Quingle. I don't know. None of those are good. So, it is D plus Kia's second straight Road to MSI versus Bro's first ever Road to MSI appearance, and it will be their first specified matchup in 9 months. So, who's going to take that first step towards Wonju? Again, if you lose here, you're out. You know, there's no double elimination in this one, so you just got to win best of 5s and hope that you can continue to win until eventually you go up against Gen G and then maybe T1 or HLE for that final spot.
Yep, I mean, a lot of pressure on this series, but it's just a continuous set of high-pressure series ahead of this. And obviously, D+ back in the qualifier, hoping to sort of redeem themselves. What happened last time? You got to remember, last time it was KT who did that big gauntlet run. It did, unfortunately for them, run short, but they were taking big names. Last time around in D+, were unfortunately one of them who fell short and got 3-0'd. And they are a team who typically have done pretty well when it comes to qualifiers, so was a rough spot last time around. And we will get to see some of the predictions for how we think they're going to do this time around. This is always fun.
Any Bro believers? Oh, Dagon. G-Sun!
With a 3-0?
What? Okay, this is actually incorrect. G-Sun did DK 3-0, so...
But I just like how it's Bro 3-0, just so we can have a bigger Bro lever than Dagon. Dagon, not even the biggest Bro lever here.
Yeah, Umti, also former Breon, did go for Breon. They are the only two real browers. As G-Sun, as we stated before, was incorrect. We're going to fix that here.
Wow. Okay, you know what's crazy? We did off the bro hype train. He's given up.
Hey, he gave them 2 games. But yeah.
Shameless. He's just given up on the bros.
Only he and Pony gave them 2 games. Every other DK Predator did go for either 1 or 0. A 3-1 was definitely the most common. We had some 3-0s. I think Atlas went for it. And I missed some of the other ones. Maybe Prince? As the...
Wow.
96-4. Uribank really is not a bro lever. That is a big Gideon.
Yeah.
Big Gideon.
That is huge. How do you even... The thing is, if you look at it, there's no crease marks at all. I can't see any. How do you even get that here?
It's really high quality too. Like I could even see.
But that's because you'd assume like something that big, you'd have to fold it up.
Yeah.
On like public transport or something. Like how would you get that here without folding it? Logistically, it must have been a nightmare.
That's really all I'm curious about now. How did they get that?
Did you have a print shop nearby? Did you have it like ordered for day off so they print it out and you just immediately take it here? Do they live nearby? Did you bring it in like your own car that had enough space? I mean, I know people have big cars nowadays, but the boot space required to fit that. I mean, a lot of people have seats that fold down so you can fit it in.
Yeah.
A lot of planning must have gone in to bring that.
I am at what I would do in this case. I would search for a print shop nearby.
A print shop
and then
nearby
walk it over.
Sounds pretty logical.
So you like take the subway or whatever, the bus, you get over here, you go to the print shop, you pick it up, and then you bring it here.
Yeah, but also that you can see in the background there, must have taken a lot of work to ensure that like the print shop can do requests like that, because that's obviously not a standard request. You know, that's not a that's not something that's not something you can just go and go, hey, can you you can't just go to any print shop and be like, I want this.
Yeah.
You have to make sure they're equipped.
That is true. We do have a lot of Gideon fans. I do think he has been, alongside of Teddy, the 2 guys that have really been the drivers of the bro bus nowadays.
I mean, I want to say, Gideon definitely deserves that level of dedication, but I also just want to, that is definitely...
Where's the Teddy head?
A great level of dedication.
Yeah.
Shout out to that fan and the level of planning that went into that. That was not a spur-of-the-moment decision.
Yeah.
And we have had a good amount of time since our last LCK day, so perhaps that time was spent. There is the actual Gideon head.
Yeah. I mean...
Because normally, like...
When you see the paper, too, I mean, it looks very realistic just because it's so large and high def. I don't know. We need more of those big heads.
Normally you see things like you say to scale. That's how many times bigger do you think that is than his head?
I'd say probably 15x.
15x?
Yeah. Maybe 10?
I think 10.
It's like 10 to 15.
You also have to make sure you have a very high quality, because when you're blowing it up, you have to make sure the original is very high quality. The original picture.
Yeah. I mean, it looks... I don't know. Like, I'm just very curious about that board cutout. I mean, we're going through all the players here, obviously, on both teams, and you know, as much as we love to talk about Gideon's head.
How do you think Gideon feels about it?
Does he know?
Is he aware?
Has he seen it? I'm gonna say probably. So apparently that's why casting was laughing so hard in the front. Gideon kind of had a straight face, so...
Gideon's just like, don't laugh, lock in, don't get folks in the game.
That sign said, you know, we see you, LPL, we saw you. I guess they must be referring to Team WE, who has been going on a massive streak over there.
Oh, I mean, LPL's been we had obviously like a good amount of craziness earlier in the season.
Yeah.
With teams sort of things not going as planned, but then it hit playoffs in the LPL and absolute shenanigans were afoot. So
yeah, so they're trying to, you know, take inspiration from that and saying, you know, we could do that too, bro.
Yeah. That's what they're hoping for. So we'll see how things change, as it's always hard to predict. We're going into playoffs, so there's a lot of pressure on these teams. It's a best of 5, it's a first series. We've obviously hit a new patch, so expectation is some things will change, but I don't know how much these teams are willing to throw everything out when it is that first series, and sometimes things take a little bit longer to be figured out, and they might just end up sticking to a little bit of what they know. So far, we're looking at the bans, and not too much has changed up. I will say, Orianna, Cassiopeia still open and available, and Karma still being banned despite a lot of those nerfs towards Enchanter atomization.
Yeah.
Still seeing that sort of prio on her being banned, even though she's kind of fallen off in terms of the ban prioritization even before this patch.
Yeah. So, and those mid laners got a slight buff with the mid quests as well. So, could see them taking over the games even more than they already do. Still have a lot of stuff up and available, but as second pick, they're going to leave 3 really strong picks: Orianna, Cassiopeia, Rumble available.
Yeah. So looking like they want to trade some of those. The Ezreal ban away from Teddy makes sense. A lot of targeted bans towards Teddy and Gideon on the side of Hanji and Brion. They give the Orianna over to Roma here. We have seen Showmaker willing to give over some of these strong mid laners and bring out some of his specifically prepared counters. I wonder if he's willing to do so again here, if he has anything prepared. But it looks like he's just going to go for the Victor. We have seen the Victor pretty popular into the Orianna, has a good lane into her. And taking the Jarvan away, denying that. There's no Ezreal as well to play into it, but no Jarvan Orianna to play as a combo. Now for Hanji and Brion, they're going to look towards the Neferi. And we'll take that. Obviously, you can just disengage from the Jarvan pretty easily. Rumble going to come through as well. For the side of D+ here, it could just go the Galio in this situation.
Yeah, you can go Galio, you can go Cassante. I think those picks definitely fit him. I don't want to see any more, flanking veins, please. So just pick a tank that can deal with the Rumble, and we'll be good. Or instead, no, it's just going to be Cassante.
Okay, so I'm not altogether too surprised, but things looking pretty much the same as last patch, especially that first series in these best of 5s, not too much changes.
But Ox, we had so many changes for the bot lane. Surely we're going to get some new stuff there.
Well, we'll see. I definitely think there's a lot of picks, particularly on the side of Hanji and Brion, that would love some setup. And we obviously did see the changes trying to facilitate melee engages, so maybe an opportunity there to pick one of them. But who knows? Caitlyn ban going to come through from D+ here. It is obviously D+ who have counterpick in this situation, and the opportunity to potentially threaten there. Still a lot of those strong bot lanes available, like the Ashe Seraphine. Lucian Milio not had a look in either in this situation.
Yeah, definitely a lot of focus towards the top side of the map. Ashe going to be banned away, so that takes away another strong duo. I wonder if, we've seen some melee supports here and there, like Nautilus, Alistair, even Braum came out a couple of times.
I feel like when I think about it, I think those picks we've already been seeing, getting this boost probably just puts them in a better spot. Like we've been seeing MF Nautilus, Jhin comboing with them. If you think about just adjusting the weighting is going to make those feel better. But as I was saying before, the fact that you have the composition of Hanji and Brion already has picks that would appreciate the setup. Like D+ comp already has a lot of setup with the Jarvan, with the Cassante. Whereas for the side of Hanji and Brion, Shockwave and Equalizer, they would love something that can set up that CC on their side. And the fact that they're banning the Braum kind of further suggests that maybe they're leaning towards that for Namgung in this situation. Now, if I'm D+, maybe one of the risks actually for them is, I was thinking maybe they could go like a Lucian Milio here, but the problem is if you go Lucian in this situation and they take Milio, you can't go Lucian Nami anymore. and Braum's gone now, so they are going to pick the Milio. This makes sense, because you actually can't go Lucian Nami because Mandate is dead. I mean, I guess you could, but I think Nami's significantly worse with the changes to Mandate.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, now, there are worlds where you could try to steal away the Lucian and play some kind of weird lane, but that really does kind of hamstring you. So instead, they're just going to play Xayah Rakan. It's a little bit of a throwback here for these guys. Maybe some Guardian for that Rakan.
Oh, I think this is cool.
He's getting his stretches in before hyper carrying.
So instead of going for the Lucian Milio, because I think playing a low range carry into this composition of Hanji and Brion, it's tough. It's difficult. The Jinx Milio gives you a lot of range. Jinx often played into the Xayah, can just outrange it. No, they're going to stick to the low range, so going to be dealing with some difficulties here, I feel like, but Smash feeling confident he can pull it off. The Xayah Rakan in this situation will hold Smash accountable in some ways. You have the setup for the Orianna and the Rumble. The Xayah, not the best into the Jarvan generally, but is good against the Yunara. If she ever comes into you can obviously deal with it quite well. I do feel like, though, for the side of D+, they have 2 carries who are going to scale pretty well into the later stages of the game. That being said, are you going to be able to protect them is a big question. Are you going to be able to keep them alive against the threat of like the Shockwave and the Equalizer?
Shockwave Equalizer, you got Rakan as well, who can attack from a very long range with the Xayah.
I also
feels
think
like
that
there's so many threats, so many engaged potential.
I also think that Yunara Milio just isn't that threatening of a lane. So Xayah Rakan's going to be pretty comfortable and going to be able to scale up and just be a powerhouse when you get to the team fights.
Yeah, so definitely preparing pretty well on their side with the Xayah Rakan. That is a Teddy champ for sure. Certainly something that he can bring into the late game and try to really warp the game around himself. Also, no Fury for Gideon. Looking forward to that one here for Brion. Not a bad start for them in the draft as we hop into the Rift for game number 1. All right, game number 1 of Road to MSI. It's round 1, game 1. These two teams got to fight through so many best of 5s if they want to make it to MSI, and so many fantastic teams. Bro snuck in, but all you need is to get in. If you get in, we've seen so many playoffs and so many roads to MSI go very wonky, and I really do believe that anyone can do it on the right day for them. That being said, DK 3-0. My prediction was 3-1. What did you go for, Ox?
I also went
3-1.
I think you are right that things can definitely change. We have seen Filmmaker going for the Deathfire Touch and put some good pressure down on the level 1. Oh, Ghost used early here by Smash. And it's Exhaust by Teddy thrown down. This is kind of what we've seen a lot from the Victor, though, having a good amount of pressure in the lane. Roma already really suffering in this matchup.
I mean, Roamer, we definitely know what he can do, and his return to the LCK after being subbed out for quite a while, and Loki coming in, was great. You know, we were all excited for him, but I do feel like one of his weaknesses is definitely his laning phase. Doesn't feel like he sets himself up to be in a position to carry, but he can carry very well, but needs to get through Showmaker's Victor first.
I do think that when the Orianna hits level 3, definitely gets a good amount of more power, being able to have those abilities to rotate. Same thing happens with the bot lane for Xayah Rakan. A lot more threat into a double-ranged bot lane. Interesting casting also. He did just miss the cannon there, but he's actually looking for more damage onto Shiwu. Missed a lot of farm there, but did still get the XP, but is now very far behind in terms of CS compared to Shiwu. Went for the Comet here instead of the Deathfire Touch. We've been seeing a lot for the Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of utilizing the change to the Arcane Comet with the range and stuff like that, you know, he's got the Harpoons, which are pretty long range, and then, of course, the Equalizer that can get some value from that. Just good for getting some poke down, as now the bottom lane is kind of in an even spot, but it does look like Teddy and Namgung are trying to push a little bit and get in here, but instead now Gideon going to go up in the air. They're trying to turn onto Lucid as he will flash the knockup. They just want to win the fight instead and spend the flash to do that. And you can see that Smash is kind of zoning Teddy away here. In the mid lane, a battle for Prio as well, as Gideon is coming in, doing a lot of damage to Lucid already. The smite goes to Gideon, and Bro will win on the fight here for the Scuttle Crab. Looks like Career gets away as well.
Yeah, little... I mean, it's not too risky because you're playing Jarvan's flag and drag away, but a little ambitious from Lucid to try and go for the Scuttle after being forced away and bidding that flash. So I like the fact that Bro contested that. I'm like, no, we burn your flash, you have to back off. I think, honestly, maybe Lucid should have just moved immediately to the top Scuttle, and he could have secured that, because now Gideon ends up getting both. So he's feeling really good about that situation. It's kind of how you're feeling when you have that Rakan compared to Emilio, and especially with the Neferi as well. It's very difficult for a Jarvan to play out those skirmishes and get on top of the Neferi. You can just avoid a lot of your damage and your CC.
Yeah, nicely played by Bro. It does feel like a lot of our weaker teams in the LCK will kind of just overforce it on a Scuttle fight, especially when they're not really in a position to do so. But Bro, very nicely playing it slowly, plus identifying that they were in a position to actually fight that. So nicely done for them. Definitely a good sign. And Romer was also able to push Showmaker out of the lane while that was all going on. So not so bad from him either.
Romer doing much better now. He's gotten some levels behind him. I think just the early levels Victor is such a problem on that early prio. And doing a good amount better now in this situation. So not too much of concern. First Dragon going to be Chemtech, so feeling pretty good if you can prio that one and avoid the dreaded Chemtech Soul.
Career comes in, says hello, throws in a shield.
I just hate that. I hate, you know, the worst is Soraka, when like you've been trading kind of evenly and Soraka just walks in the lane and just heals them to full HP. Or the ult just to heal them.
Yeah.
Doesn't even show up. Bothersome.
It's not fair.
Nidalee can do that too as a jungle. Yeah. I mean, now Showmaker's ahead in HP. The shockwave to clear the wave. That's what he's forced to do after the heal gank.
Yeah. And he doesn't have TP, so Romer at this point in time is just kind of gone and not part of the fights. Now Gideon is going to be pushed out a little bit, takes a couple more autos. He's getting low. Could be potential for DK to look for this first objective of the Drake.
I think they should go for it. They have prio bot, have prio mid. This is good timing. Gideon has to recall, so everything kind of coming together well. Gideon getting forced away, prio mid, and actually they're opting not to go for it.
So I guess maybe if he goes back to his jungler, he can hit level 6 and then try to fight over it. But
I think maybe that was the concern in this situation, is that Showmaker wanted to recall, and they thought if Gideon comes back over and they the Scuttle's going to spawn soon and Gideon can get 6 of it. I guess that's the thought process in that situation. Like, the timing wasn't quite there, and the fact they missed those 2 Scuttles earlier may have been the ultimate cost in that situation. So the consequences from earlier.
Yeah. You can see that Lucid took his blue and he's still not level 6, so it's going to take him a little bit more time to do that, as the storm is going to come down and even the stun going to land on a Romer. So he's essentially just pushed out a lane now. Again, still doesn't have TP, but, you know, definitely good pressure from Showmaker, but they're not converting into objectives just yet. There's the knockback. Shiyu, he says, you know what, actually, never mind. I'm not going to go for the all-out. Just kidding.
Yeah, I was looking for the window, it seemed like, but doesn't commit to it. And now Gideon's in the vicinity.
Yeah, this might be the harpoon landing. I mean, with the ward there, he gets, you know, good information early. This dragon is warded. It's going to see that and say, you know what, never mind. I feel like both sides are playing this very carefully.
Yeah, this is very cautious, it feels like, in this situation. Showmaker again going for a reset. He had a pretty big HP advantage over Roma earlier. but I feel like D+ just not wanting to overstep and be punished in this scenario. Feels like there was definitely some windows here where they could have gone for this. Now, Grubs has spawned on the map, and remember, they were buffed pretty substantially on this patch. The damage has been increased by 1/3. The health of the Grubs themselves.
Gideon Grubs.
Gideon Grubs, there you go. He knows. I mean, I say he knows. Gideon loved his Grubs even before the buff, so don't be fooled. He might have just taken them anyway. But getting 3 Grubs, even more significant than before, with the amount, the damage, the burn on towers has been increased, and the health of the Grubs you spawn increased by a pretty large margin. So this is substantial that Ange and Brian have been able to get these, and D+ just kind of not seemingly taking any of these opportunities that might have arisen to pick up the Dragon.
Yeah, no Dragon take, no Grub take, obviously, for D+ Kia. And it's mostly just been a Jarvan farming in the jungle after hitting level 6 even. So really no setup. We're not forcing any flashes. We're not really putting pressure anywhere. D+ Kia do have a very slight lead just from the way the lanes have played out, but really no big step taken in either direction for either team just yet. As Lucid now, he's going to smite on his way out.
Yeah, I also feel like the Jarvan ult is a good amount more impactful than the Neferi ult, so you can just throw that down and burn a flash, and that can have a good amount of impact.
Yeah.
The next 5 minutes, even if you don't necessarily get a kill. And the fact is just being sat on for a while doesn't feel too great.
Smash trying to sidestep into the wall, but you can see there's no follow-up there from Teddy. So not actually going for a big trade or anything like that. And yeah, I think it's definitely good to show respect to your opponents, but you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to play nervous in any of these matchups, really versus any team. So got to be careful to not get too passive for these teams. Might be back to Bro and Brew territory with where we're at. I feel like we had kind of escaped that for a while. She was like, well, you know what? Actually, I don't want to fight you. Not really. As there's going to be the Slurkle into the Ghost. Is Smash going to go in, land the double slow? Now I'm going trying to just peel. He will be able to, but they are pushed out of the lane. We do see that Lucid is on the Dragon meanwhile, so going to enjoy that very much.
Yeah, eventually finding the pressure in the window that allows them to secure the Dragon, but it is very late compared to some of the opportunities before. They'll secure it though. Hextech Dragon going to be next, so strongest soul and one of the weakest out of the window. Do feel like it still sets up for good odds for a strong soul. Cyclo Sword picked up from Gideon though, which is a massive spike. So likely a window where he wants to start forcing some fights, and immediately after the TP,
okay, he's just going in. I mean, casting, even if he doesn't die here, he is going to not get hit by the knock-up. Flashes at the very last moment. So they trade flashes, but now casting pretty low after using his TP to get to the top lane.
Yeah, just immediately forces to play in that situation. Now Namgoon trying to find a window here.
Yeah, I don't think Smash is in a very fun spot. As the charm comes in, Namgoon gets out. First blood, easy pickings as Gideon picks it up in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Korea headed up towards the top side, trying to put more pressure onto Casting. Casting no ultimate available to really do anything about this play. But that was such an easy dive for Ange and Brion there. Oh, it's so annoying.
Oh, God. Korea, you know, your AD carry just died. Like, he was mid, he buffed up Showmaker, now he stopping Casting's back at the second tier turret? Maybe he just should go bot, you know? Casting going to be in a bit of trouble. Namgoon is here, but I think the damage should be enough, and even the knockback does come in. The flash is there, the shield as well, but the Q gets it down as Lucid picks up a kill himself.
I think Casting was like, okay, my support's here, I should be safe. But without flash into a Jarvan, there's just so little you can actually do. Now, though, they might look for the bot lane. Smash still has flash, though.
Yeah, nice amount of burst there. I feel like maybe if you lead with Namgoon, perhaps you could get the flash out of Smash. But
I think Smash still has ult. Namgoon doesn't have his ult. I think you commit everything. Maybe you force a flash, but they're unwilling to overcommit and go that heavy at the end of the day. We'll just chunk him out a little bit, force him back. Gold still in favor of D+ right now. I'm a bit concerned about this top lane matchup. I know casting was just put behind on the back of that play. He was behind before in that lane, before the whole passage of play happened. Just from like the early lane when we saw casting trying to damage Shiwu instead of clearing the farm. And now Shiwu has hit that Koenig Rukian spike and he's about 800 gold ahead. He's just never really going to feel threatened in this top lane matchup again for the rest of the game.
Yeah, and of course, whenever you have Rumble, generally you have double AP, at least in this meta. I mean, sometimes you see Yone to go along with it, but it does feel like AD mids have certainly fallen off with all the control mages we get in the mid lane, so just double the value there, as Namgung is unfortunately going to get hit by that, and now is pulled under turret, takes so many turret shots, barely lives, but he has to use the quickness and barely gets away. It's now Lucid coming in here trying to punish Casting, who still doesn't have his flash. The knockup is going to miss. There's the Cataclysm. So Lucid standing on an equalizer, but he's got Career behind him. And eventually the flag comes down for the execution, as now they're trying to dive in onto Shiyu once again. And these two guys don't deal a whole lot of magic damage, and he will be going down.
Being a top laner is just a rough time. It's just not fun. Both teams putting the hit down on the opposing top laner, and it will just be a trade of turrets, but it is D+ getting the first turret in this situation, and will further extend that gold lead by a little bit. Dragon up in a minute, Herald in 20 seconds. We'll see what the team's up to prioritize here. Again, no flash into a Jarvan. It's just so difficult. The knockup doesn't quite connect, but with red buff, just autos him down in this situation, and the backup off the Emilio makes it hard to escape the flag to finish him off. Just feels so rough in here. Shiwu, as you said, Koenig Rukian just doesn't really do much in this situation. The Neferi as well with the Cyclo Sword just does so much damage.
Yeah, makes even the relatively fed Cassante just kind of fall apart when the two of them are hitting that, as there is vision on this one. They're going in onto Career, who is taking that damage from the Neferi as the second Q is going to land, and now Namgung is going to back this one up. Teddy trying to get on in there, so trading blows both ways, as now the dash comes in, the combo doesn't land, and Gideon flashes away, but Showmaker with the finish takes down the jungler of Bro. And now potential for DK to take down this objective. You see that Roamer sticking around, trying to threaten. He knows he does a lot of damage with that Luden spike, and actually Lucid is going to have to respect it as he backs away.
Yeah, Roamer's still so strong. And at this point, if D+ stick around, they potentially forfeit the Dragon and could just end up dying. It was a great flash from Smash there to avoid the combo. Now Teddy has to be careful. Ult in 2 seconds.
Yeah, well, he's just going to die. Oh no, he flashes the ball.
Flashes away. His ult was so close to being up. So you see this play. I feel like maybe Gideon could have ulted onto Career sooner here, but doesn't want to commit too heavily to the Milio, I guess. But when they go for the combo onto Smash, the flash timing is just kind of impeccable.
In live.
See it again, though. They're going once again for the Herald.
Yeah, double TP in here from Bro. So now they're trying to turn onto the Rumble. The smite goes the way of Lucid. He's looking for the flag and drag to get back in. He's going to have to Cataclysm. Doesn't pick up the eye. Finally does at the very last moment. As a big shockwave going to catch the entire bot lane of DK, but the follow-up is just not there. Teddy just arrived, as these two fights for the Herald have been very broken up. Shiyu trying to tank here in the front line, but again is being shredded apart by the AD of this composition as they go on in, but Gideon also going to fall. Couple of kills do go the way of Teddy, but now it's Smash and Showmaker leading the charge. But the mobility does come in. Teddy trying to re-challenge. A couple of feathers, and he picks up the kill. Barely taking down his AD carry opponent.
Dangerous game played by Teddy, but on the knife's edge, he's able to take out Smash there. Lucid already so low on the Herald. He just basically gets sacrificed in this situation. You see the rest of D+ is focused on the casting in the meantime, and he's essentially just buying time. He does chunk out Showmaker, but the Shockwave, pretty beautiful from Roma, but Shiwu plays Bouncer to stop any follow-up from coming through, and then it's this awkward situation where Roma doesn't want to flash out the pit immediately, so they try and play a long game here. Namgun disrupts Showmaker, and then these low health bars from Hanjin Brion it gets very scary. Smash is healthy enough to start to push up, but we see Teddy, when the distance comes down, he thinks, I can take this. He actually didn't quite have exhaust available, and he just goes for it without the summoner spell, finds the feathers to make it work, and they manage to get back on the map and get Dragon as well. Teddy now 4-0 on this Xayah, and he has so often been the win con for this Hanjin Brionne lineup, and he is once again in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the tiny angles he's finding to pick up these kills and just get himself fed. That's even before the Xayah really kind of takes off and takes over the game. So really liking it as Teddy, again, two seconds away from the Feather Storm. As they're all chasing him. The Feather Storm not going to help too much against the Cataclysm, and Teddy doesn't even bother to use it. He just says, you know what? I messed up. There's 4 of them here. There's a Rift Herald. I'm alone. I just kind of have to accept my fate. As D+Kia, though, will enjoy the trade as they even get a charge here in the second tier.
So many of the carry experiences from Teddy have been on things like the Ezreal, and it's just felt like teams haven't had the tools to answer him. But on the Xayah into the Jarvan, that Cataclysm is going to consistently be a problem for Teddy when his flash isn't available. As you said, the ultimate just isn't a great answer, and often you're just going to stay trapped in there even if you pop it. So a good move there from D+, despite the fed Xayah. It's still a 2,000 gold lead. Lucid very fed, Shiwu very fed.
Shiu is very much in no man's land. He's being chased by 3 people here, as even the charm is going to come down, the equalizer as well. Triple knockup. He's trying to taxi his way over the wall, but the flash on him from Nanggung, they still don't get him low enough as he dashes under the turret. The knockup is there, and even the shield comes in to nearly save him. Makes it interesting in the 1v3, but they do get the kill.
I mean, he dies, but it's kind of intimidating just how long he survived in that situation.
Yeah, the 0-3 Cassante.
It certainly sends a message. And they commit pretty hard to get him in this scenario. So many resources in terms of the flash from the Rakan, the fact that they need 3 ultimates. And yeah, they take him down. It still works out. They don't lose anything on the map for this. But it does sort of suggest to you that when it gets to fights, he is not going to be an easy target to deal with. He is going to continue to be a problem in the 5v5.
Yeah, they're really going to need Teddy, mainly, especially once he picks up that finished Last Whisper item, which he is going for third. He's going to be the main source of damage into this Cassante.
I think going for that immediately makes a lot of sense. The fact Gideon has the Black Cleaver also makes a lot of sense. I mean, the Fury, great at stacking that as well with the bleed, so definitely a good amount of value there. There's a Cloud Soul coming through, so that movement speed definitely useful, but also on like the Rakan, very powerful. Yunara, also a champion, he gets a ton of value when those ultimates are popped.
Xayah, not so much. I mean, a little bit. I mean, if you do it in a fight and you utilize that movement speed, sure.
I mean, honestly,
it's not bad.
Every champion just gets value from the passive movement speed, but honestly, Xayah, you ult, and then you get that movement speed to reposition for the feathers. There's champions who get like nothing from it, like Xerath. Xerath is like the worst. But I think
he's number 1.
Xayah is still decent.
Yeah, I think where my brain was trying to go with that is that he still has to deal with Cataclysm, so Cloud Soul isn't going to help him there. But
yeah, that's fair.
If it's in a fight where Cataclysm is used, or he has Flash, he's definitely going to be getting value out of that Soul. So definitely going to have both these teams fighting over it, as I think we've kind of escaped our Game 1 jitters and passivity for both of these teams.
Definitely feels that way. Oh, Lucid. Felt like they were collapsing onto him, but he does just flag and drag away. The poke comes down. A minute until the dragon. A lot of the back and forth was around this Baron area. You can see D+ managing to get some vision into Hanjin Brionne's jungle there, but now imagine the setup is coming onto the dragon area. You can see pings from both sides coming down. Create already moving in to get some wards as Hanjin Brionne open onto the map. And right now, pretty much all summoners available. It's only Namgoon's flash that is down. Teddy having his flash really big for these situations. Being able to flash out of the Cataclysm will be make or break when it comes to these situations. But Rakan not having his does make things a little trickier when we're trying to find angles to engage. and set up the fights.
Yeah. I think especially because both these teams are a dragon apiece, and it's also relatively late. You know, it's going to be a while before we even get an Elder Spawn or even a Cloud Soul. So I would expect both these teams to kind of weigh their options and say, well, if we're not in a position to really fight over the dragon, we don't necessarily have to go all in on it. But at the moment, I mean, you've got Showmaker and bot, you've got Kasante top. There is a way for DK to try to get in here.
Casting just finished his Bloodletters, which is pretty big. And Teddy didn't get to finish his LDR. Showmaker's on a crazy flank.
Yeah. I mean, Casting can easily just zone him away and equalizer back on the fight. So that's going to be the Drake, the way of Bro. And I think the positioning here for DK, not the best. And they don't commit, which I think is definitely the right call. Xiu very tanky. Gideon struggling to get even through the shields here. Bit of damage comes from the Orianna. But yeah, DK just saying, okay, it's one Drake. We're not going to overcommit for this.
Yeah, Gideon just kind of brute forces his way out of the river because Xiu can't do much to him. He always has that untarget ability to kind of just force you to be unable to commit onto him. And they make their way out of the river. They got the dragon. They got what they wanted. Don't need to go for more. Now, though, D+ are kind of threatening. Oh, Namgoon plays a dangerous game there, but D+ are trying to threaten here as they have control of the Baron area. There's no vision for Hanjin Brion there, but there isn't too much threat that D+ start up the Baron right now.
Yeah. I feel like D+ K are doing a good job of controlling the map with their slight lead that they have, and obviously setting up the vision line, and just saying, okay, we're in a better spot. This will make it more likely that you make a mistake when trying to attack into our vision, into our map control. They took down the mid-tier 1 as well, which is certainly helping out with that. And they're just kind of utilizing that to say, okay, you know, you got the one Drake, but the map is ours, and we want to continue just holding on to it and get everything else.
You see some big purchases came in that were just missing from that last Dragon setup. Teddy gets the LDR, GA for Lucid comes through. IE is pretty close for Smash. I feel like people don't really want to make any big moves before that is completed, but Hanjin Brion feeling confident, trying to set up for the mid tower.
For a second there, Namgoon was just out of range of the dash back, and I'm like, Teddy, you I know it's long range with this duo, but like, you gotta get at least within that range. I do like the little chunk that they grouped up for here in mid, especially when not much is going on.
Yeah. Okay, Smash does pick up the IE, so has that completed. And oh, we're going aggressive here.
He wants to try to set something up, but now Equalizer going to come down. He just respect flashes away. You could see that DK on the minimap was rotating down to try to help.
Yeah, Hanjin Brion last time they saw Xiu in that position, committed so much to kill him. But when Baron is available, I don't think you want to do that again. But also Xiu doesn't want to die, so he just flashes away. Become a bit of a slower game. Both teams kind of posturing a lot, back and forth, ebb and flows of pressure and vision. It's still D+ who have the gold, and you can feel like the map control right now. And Bro just trying to find a way in to make sure they have presence in the Baron area.
Yeah. I like the way that Lucid is playing in this very passive game where he's essentially just a human ward. Like, he knows that they don't really have a lot of threat onto him because he has Flag and Drag. He just holds on to that. He has Flash. He's ahead. He's the most ahead out of anyone. He's very tanky. Well. He has GA. And so he's just like, you know, I'm just going to put my flag down and see exactly where you are. And there's really nothing you can do about it because you're never going to punish me. So I just stand in your face and we get extra information.
Wow, Namgoon, the patch note reader, has Locket Zeeks.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, you could probably just build these on Rubicon before this patch, but
we don't, it feels like we don't have the best patch note readers in the world here at the LCK, unfortunately. Yeah. I've seen many a player reading them like before we go live. It is what it is.
Let's be real. We've had some players reading the LoL wiki in at Worlds during a semi-final, reading what Dr. Mundo's abilities do. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
That was a thing.
No judgment here.
I think especially when you're a support for this patch, it's like, hey, there are some big changes. You should probably know about them, even if you're not playing a champ that directly benefits from them. As it really does feel like we've entered true bro and brew territory. We have kind of been sitting here for 5 minutes, and it's been the same gold lead. You saw that gold graph was very just kind of flat lines there at 2K.
Wonder how much damage Lucid has done with the, the red smite burn.
Yeah.
And just hitting people with his flag constantly. I feel like he's gotten so much poke damage off that.
Oh, they want to go for this. They're going in on Smash. There is the combo, and the Yunara just disappears, bro. Takes him out just like that, and now Career is kind of just dead meat as well on the backside of this one. Double kill for the Nefarious. She was really trying to put to the test how tanky he is as the Equalizer comes in. They're trying to turn on a Casting, as it might be a trade of top laners, but no, Casting is going to live. And bro say, okay, let's group up and look for this Baron.
The bro and brew just suddenly starts to roast D+. Showmaker trying to get some damage down. Now, there's still a chance of a smite steal, and Showmaker has a lot of damage, but it's 2v5. It'll be hard to pull this off, and Namgun has the sustain for the Gleaming Quill. Oh, they're looking for Roma.
Yeah, I mean, the turn here as well. They don't have a lot of ults on their side. As look at them, he's just trying to get the GA and the Cataclysm so Showmaker can do some damage. Romer's getting low as Lucid goes back in, picks up a kill, but now Showmaker no mana, and Lucid also will eventually fall, it looks like, unless he does flag and drag over the wall. Gideon on the chase, 5 seconds on the ult. As meanwhile, Rabadon's picked up here for Romer. Lucid does go back in, trying to take out Namgun, but the heal on the Gleaming Quill picks up the non-death, as bro does get the Baron.
It was an ambitious play from Showmaker and Lucid, but here this engage was so good. Kind of like the Nocturne Orianna combo. Smash steps up. Last time he flashed this time he does not. The follow-up is there from Namgun. And then what I actually love about this play is Casting's ult. They know Shiwu doesn't have flash, so when he dashes away here, this equalizer that he throws down, he just can't get out.
Yeah.
So he's just trapped on it. Just completely melts, ends up going down. Casting flashes away here, and it means they get 3 kills. Because you imagine, if the Cassante was here, they might have actually been able to win this fight, 3v5, with how low the health bars actually get. So it was actually very important that the Cassante died in that situation. The health bars get low. Showmaker's trying to do his best to get the damage down, but they focus him out. Lucid also trying to turn this play around. But unfortunately, the Guardian comes in. Lowered cooldown on this patch, potentially making a difference. And now Hanjin Brion finally getting a gold advantage. A significant one other than those tiny blips at 11 and 16 minutes.
Yeah. And it's definitely a very nice step forward here for bro. It's still very much an open game. I do think that bro, Lucid trying to make it not so much, as Teddy just gonna take him down. Lucid saying, oh, I can still just stand right next to you, right? Nope, not anymore. Yeah, DK, I don't know what's going on now. I was about to say, like, oh, you know, maybe DK can fight back and we got a game on our hands, but no. Bro just kind of taking names and forcing people to flash.
I think in that couple of moments, I just saw all of the 3-0 predictions die.
Yeah. I think that's well said. I mean, D+K, they've been very unpredictable.
I say that.
This
the
year.
3-0 D+ predictions, 3-0 bro predictions, still feeling very alive. Not that we had any on our broadcast.
Well, we had the fake G-Sun one. We could maybe give that one to her. As now Xiu is going to push back Namgun, but Namgun is recon, so doesn't really care. Big shockwave on it too, but no follow-up as they're backing away.
D+ just not really handling the pressure from Hanjin Brion well. Baron power play 4,300. When we came back after the replay, there was about a 700 gold lead for Hanjin Brion, and you can look at that gold graph. Sometimes teams get Baron and they get a little bit of gold. They manage to get, you know, a couple of structures here and there, but it's like, how impactful really was it? This is an example of a situation where D+ just kind of bled out a good amount. Weren't really able to stop the flow, and Hanjin Brion now have a massive advantage. There's Baron in 2.5 minutes. There's Dragon in 2 minutes 40, and it is Soul for them. Teddy also has his core items completed. 100% crit chance, has the IE, has the LDR, and by the time we get to those next objectives, he will also have GA completed. So he is extremely strong. Roma has... Oh, he has ult, so he's okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to force the ult, but like, Shiu also is taking a massive amount of damage. Just being chunked out by the Xayah. And this is what the Xayah offers you in this late game. Getting kind of goes in a bit wonky there. Takes a lot of damage as Namgung again has to peel. And now we got a TP coming in. I think Casting is going to regret that one, as now this is getting very much mixed up, and DK just rolled them in the mid lane. As bro, that is not the way you win after the Baron power play.
I'm lost. D+, win the game. They just, they just win the game, just like that. Wow, well, I guess the 3-0 predictions are back on the menu.
I really don't know what to think after this. As Gideon is going in, he's got GA. I mean, maybe he can clear a little bit, but yeah, it's just floundering as a big mistake for Bro in the mid lane. Mixing it up with D plus Kia, who immediately call their bluff and shut him down. You don't instantly kill the Unara. You're not going to have a clean fight. And D plus Kia to say, sit down, we are the higher seed.
Unprecedented levels of caster cursing. That was, yeah, I'm shocked at my own powers to just pierce a team in that way. It was a slow game, and then Hanj and Brion able to pull off a phenomenal team fight, get control of the game, and then in an impressive way, throw it away very quickly as well. A D+, credit to them for catching it, but what a wild game one. And it's a best of 5, so we have potentially 4 more games of this. What is that goal graph? What are you supposed to take away? Look how sheer. Look how sheer that drop-off is. It is almost vertical. You can barely see any incline at all. Just absolute.
It's like one of those optical illusions where it's like, no, actually it's a straight line, even though it looks like it's a little bit slanted.
That, honestly, that should have been a 1-0 for Hanji and Brion. And the thing is, you now have to deal with the fact that you just completely threw away that game 1, and you have to go into game 2 and just somehow just forget about that. So, you know, hands off to D+, they locked in, they got the game 1 win, that's going to feel great, but Hanj and Brion, yeah, you need to lock in.
Lock in, I think, is the message here, as it's 1-0, D plus Kia, and we'll be right back.
가 있어?
난 없어.
공만 배우게.
살만
자유동. 이거 3.
야, 나 없어. 라카동. 텔 알에 텔 봐줄게.
얘기 있어.
뒤에 우리.
천천히 싸우시게.
나 끝. 나 별로 안 써.
나 뺐는데. 봐줘야 될 것 같아.
봐봐.
자유락한 노공이라 싸우시긴 한데.
괜찮아. 나 다 빠졌다.
어때?
야, 보자.
천천히.
와대.
럼블부터.
럼블 보자.
잡아보자.
야, 더울 수. 야, 더울래? 좋은데.
미드.
나이스.
미드.
끝났다.
아, 끝난 거 같아.
제발.
얘들아, 미드.
It's the thought it was I going out of my mind. There was something really going on. I just didn't see all the signs in time. It was going on for so long. Girl, go on with your little thing. Gotta do what you wanna do. Guess I hadn't seen the danger signs. Guess I should've been one on you. Now I know what I've really got to do. I've gotta see this through. You ain't gonna hold me back, 'cause I'm gone to a past you clean, and now I'm moving on. You might think the battle's already won, but it's really not. I'll prove you wrong. I'm gone and I'm moving on. Fire my bed, you tried to put out, but I lit it up. Yes, I lit it up. Yes, I lit it. You said it's on me if I feel put out. But your time's up. No way can you feel it. Girl, go on with your little thing. You gotta do what you wanna do. Guess I hadn't seen the danger signs. Should've been one hanging off you. Now I know what I've really got to do. I've gotta see this through. You ain't gonna hold me back, 'cause I'm gone to a past you clean, and now I'm moving on. You might think the battle's already won, but it's really not. I'll prove you wrong. I'm gone and I'm moving on. Gone and I'm moving on. I'll prove you wrong. I'm gone and I'm moving on. Every sky's a line I've drawn. Cut by cut, mark by mark, mining forever in the stone.
Welcome to the space, ladies and gentlemen, for the road to MSI here in round number 1 after the very first game, where we got a beautiful dose of bro and brew all the way until someone spilt the entire pot of tea on the floor, and it all went absolutely everywhere. Before that, though, it was a beautiful teapot made of lovely china. Everything was slowly being carried out to the restaurant, and everything was going fine.
I really like it when we take the bro words and make them happen, right? You know, we have optimism, you know, bracro and things like this. If you take throw and make it into a bro word, it's just bro.
I mean,
and it's unfortunately really applicable in this situation. Guys, that was like the biggest throw I've seen this year.
Were you holding on to that the whole time? That was genius.
No. I mean, you know, it's their very first game after the break, you know, and it's the first BO5. It's happening in LCK, so I'm fine. But you know, like in the draft, we felt great about their draft as well because they had the Orianna and Nafiri combo. So even though DK banned out the champion, that it works out really well with Orianna. I think they did really well, like with in terms of like how you combine with the Orianna, and also you have XR on the bot lane, and you didn't get punished on the bot lane that much. So I think overall, they had such a great plan.
I was a little bit worried about the Yunara pick because there's so many engaged tools. And then they tried to do the tricky Milio thing where they pick the Milio away. They're like, Nami's dead, Mandate's dead. I like that part of this draft, but I thought they're just ultimately going to go with the Lucian. It's like, you can't pick Lucian away now because there's no Nami. But then they got the Rakan. So they have Rakan Rumble, which is a great combo. They have the Orion and the Fury setup. So I really like the draft here from Brion. I think they had so many tools to kill the Yunara, which ultimately got picked. And it was a big problem because Smash kept dying, kept getting caught.
Yeah, I actually felt like Smash hovered the Jinx beforehand, and I remember when Xayah was sort of at the height of her power, Jinx was such a great answer to it. And obviously, things like Thresh and Tahm Kench was still pretty powerful alongside it. But Milio can act as a decent defense for the Jinx to keep her alive. And I think that Smash could have used the extra range. Let's jump into highlight number 1, though, and go back to just talking about how good Bro were at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth before, even before the header. But I think in the team fight in the early game, they were doing really great. Look at Casting's
Casting, he basically TPs into 3 people, buys a ton of space, and then is able to get away. The equalizer placement here, fantastic, as the rest of Bro are winning the larger fight on the upper side of this. So Casting does a ton of work, puts Showmaker so low that he doesn't want to get involved in this fight. Shu's still trying to chase down these low health members. He gets a little bit disjointed here, and then Teddy pops off, right? And Teddy is so good at Xayah. I think we don't give him as much credit on this pick in particular recently because it hasn't been as meta, but this guy is so good at it. He's so confident, and he wants to get even more here. He's able to take Smash out. Again, Smash does not respect Teddy. So good at the Xayah, but Bro played that so well through Casting's teleport. We'll talk about some of his other teleport usage later, but that one worked out really well.
I'm really glad that you highlighted how well he teleported at that instance, because I think that maybe things could lead astray afterwards. But not yet. We have another highlight, and it's more Bro doing really good things. Like, I don't know, man. They find Smashius, who's like just hiding to the left.
Yeah, so here Showmaker tried to zone them out with the laser, but I think Brion, they found the window to go on Yunara, and he couldn't even react. He had the flash, he had the ultimate, but he couldn't do anything. And after all, I think it was just cleaning up by Hanjin Brion.
I think that basically Gideon was spam clicking R. Like, he the second he was seen, he ulted him, right? He went in on top of him, and it just didn't give any time to react because the Oriana ult was ready. So even though they couldn't visibly see him initially, they knew he was there, and they were able to punish. And now here from D+, they go for a risky contest because they're so worried they'll lose the game if this Baron goes over.
Yeah, I mean, even though they were 2 versus 5, the power of the Victor and Zarban was really huge, but that was not enough because they had the ability to fight back again. And I think it was again like Hanjin Brion having such a great moment with their team fight and the macro around the Nashor.
Uzu couldn't get close enough. You know, he had GA, he has Smite, obviously tried to steal but can't get close enough. Showmaker ultimately runs out of mana as well. It was a good idea. I really like this contest, but just a little bit too late.
They were on the soul point, they got the Nashor, and they're about to get the insane amount of gold as well. So it looked really great.
Yeah, and this is the time where I need to make an admission. I need to tell everyone that sometimes when we're here on the space, we're watching production monitors, we're not necessarily in Twitch chat. I didn't pay my bro tax, and then this happened.
Well, here's the thing. You can never end the game with the first Nashor, even though you're really far ahead. So I think you have to play the macro, and the thing is you have to play with your soul point. Here, the Drake is up in 2 minutes, and they're really far ahead. They already used the Nashor, and there's no point to take the fight. But Rumble TP is in.
So this TP obviously is an attempt to turn this fight around, but Gideon is already super chunked out. Nongung took a ton of damage. They used everything on a Cassante, and then the kiting was great from Smash. And then here, there's no Zhonya's usage, there's no equalizer, and Casting just dies. And it's a free cleanup here for D+. They still have a front line.
Yeah, I think even though Rumble TP'd in a really bad position, you can just drop him. There's no objective on the map. I think you can just defend the base as a 4-man. And yeah, I mean, that's just unfortunate, you know. But I think sometimes Hanjin Brion, they just fully commit on like literally nothing. And then that literally just made the game lose on the game 1. So I think, yeah, I mean, I can say it's their very first game in the BO5, so they might a little bit like shaky, but at this point, like, it's really disappointing though.
Everything that happened in that moment was like dominoes falling, right? You had the engage onto the Cassante, half the team is backing away, the other half is going back in, the Rumble's going in alone while the team's trying to retreat, and if you make a set of errors like that this late into the game and get wiped, the game just ends. It's got to be incredibly frustrating as these players here who otherwise had some incredible team fighting and good ways to get themselves in this position, how well they played the combo. And now they're not going to get those picks in Fearless Best of 5. Like, they're all gone now. So if you're a Breon fan, you've got to feel like this just almost feels unfair because you had everything going for you. No one expects, except, you know, Lever, Degon, expects them to win this series. But, you know, you were so close to winning game 1 and making such a statement, and you bombed it.
And I know one person who's very disappointed, and that's Jisun, because now her prediction is not coming true, but I did really like the gusto of the 3-0 for the Bros. That being said, a chance for the others that gave a few games over to D+, who are still Bro Leavers, and I did pay my Bro tax. Valdez, Ox, take it away.
Thank you, Spacers. I think you did a good job of highlighting exactly how this game was supposed to go into the hands of Bro until the one moment where it just didn't. And they made a big mistake, as what are we doing here? We opening a pack. What's in the pack? It's Delight.
Honestly,
she's looking for a swap to Teddy. She wants Teddy.
Delight a pretty good pull, considering we just had melee supports buffed, and also the fact that HLE are first in the league right now.
So this person left for their blind date and left the sign here. So apparently Helios is a very famous Forever Alone talent on the Korean side. So that's why he was there in the picture-in-picture in the bottom when that was shown about the blind date.
Oh, just like we did on the global side.
Yeah, he's our famous Forever Alone talent. No, that's mean. I'm sure what did.
Yeah, it's me.
Has an enemy waifu.
It's me, but it's true.
No. Yes. Yeah, there he is. Forever Alone or no? What's going on? What?
I mean, it's not for dispute. It's accurate. So, going into game 2, I think what we can ascertain from game 1 is some games draft can make it really hard to win a game. You know, it can still be winnable, but draft can definitely decrease the odds, or it can make it hard, or, you know, maybe you didn't get into the right situation to win the game. I think we can safely say game 1 was definitely winnable for both teams. There was definitely states of the game for both teams that were absolutely winnable, and draft was certainly not the problem. There was other things in the game that were the problem. Perhaps a button that was pressed, maybe a teleport at a certain point in the game. So
could be part of it.
Could be a factor at play. Going into this draft, Hanjin Brianna was second pick this time around. And we are seeing things play out a little bit differently. Still seeing the Varus band, the Nocturne, but this time Cassiopeia being picked up as a ban. But remember that Orianna now being taken away in this situation. Yorick ban coming through, so maybe D+ wanted to prioritize the Jace. Remember, Sante has been taken away. Is still that Scion available as an option, though?
Yeah, and I'm sure casting can hop onto that if he wants. I do know that Shiu loves his Jace. Trying to see, it's actually his most played. He does have a 3-6 win rate on it, which is not the best. They're still going to ban it away, so no Jace. That does leave Bard, Xinjiao, Ezreal up from the last set of bans. And will they go for one of those as a first pick?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Ezreal maybe was like a high prio because the Jarvan. I know it's obviously a great pick for both Smash and Teddy.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it's actually going to be a super high prio first pick. Rai's going to come through. There is the option of the Anivia into it. Cassiopeia obviously taken away. Not going to be a prospect as an answer. So will we see Roma take the Anivia as the answer? He has played it one time so far. We have often seen Talia also be picked up as an answer into the Rise, but it looks like Roma will just go for the Anivia in this situation.
Yeah, definitely a good response. Also, technically flexible, but I think when it's picked face up here after Rise first pick, you got to expect it's going to the hands of Roamer. Still a lot of strong stuff available that you could look to get your hands on. I think Bard is certainly one of them, especially denying it away from Career, who has had a couple now of big highlight moments on the Bard.
Yeah, you could end up going something like Bard here and then Ezreal on 3 in theory. But actually just going to go to Caitlyn. Caitlyn Bard obviously very strong, but are you going to be able to pick up Bard on 3? Leaving it to go over to D+ in this situation?
No.
Maybe not. So we'll see what ends up happening in this situation. In D+, his hands, they could just prioritize the Bard for Korea here. But instead going to go for the Lee Sin first for Lucid to pair up with that Ryze. Lee Sin Ryze has been a really popular combo, especially with the changes to Lee Sin to the Safeguard, so that it's 7-second cooldown when he's hopping to a ward. And we'll see what they actually just go immediately for the Zig, so they get the potential to go for the Kate Bard if they want. If they want to deny that away, or they can prioritize something else here. If they want to go for a jungle pick in this situation for Gideon before it gets banned away, or even go atop when they know it's not going to get any response from D+ in this situation. There will just be that Bard, to no real surprise. And now, probably going to see bans in terms of supports. Panchabrion Nautilus makes a lot of sense. That rotund hitbox of Bard, very easy to snipe. We often see Leona, Ziggs, pretty popular as well. Just setup in general. You already have a Lee Sin. Lee Sin and Ziggs both love setup. Both love CC, so you can hit their skill shots. So I think setup in general going to be a high priority for D+ here, and denying that going to be very important. Leona is one of the best pairings with Ziggs we've seen, and also can circumvent a lot of what Anivia can do. Doesn't have as much issues getting through the wall because you can just ult over the top, so I think that makes sense. On the side of D+, probably going to look at junglers for the most part, although Hanj and Brion do have counter pick for top lane as well. Vayne going to get a ban, despite the fact they did nerf Hexplate for range tops, or just range champions in general. I actually go for the Pyke here, which I know Pyke, obviously, we've seen a lot of Pyke with Ziggs, but I feel like Leona is probably going to do pretty well here regardless.
Can't ban all 3.
No.
Leona's the least meta, but I do agree. I think the Leona is a really good shout in this scenario. You know, you don't necessarily have to interact in the lane too much because you have a Ziggs as well, who can wave clear and potentially just play by himself. So I think it's a good shout. We're looking at the Gnar here as a blind pick for the top lane forecasting.
Yeah, interesting they're going to go for the Gnar, despite having counter pick for top. They're going for the Gnar here on 4 and giving last pick to jungle for Gideon. Is a bit interesting. Obviously want to prioritize that Gnar in this situation. Does mean Shu has an opportunity here to pick basically whatever he wants in the top lane, and he's going to go for a Tristana pick.
Yeah.
So he has played this before in the top lane.
And they don't technically have an AD carry in the bot lane, so
yeah,
it almost feels like Bro helps them round out their damage profile.
And we'll see what they end up going for in the support role. Camille is definitely an option. Does have that setup for in terms of the short stun, and has the ult which can hold him in place with a Ziggs ult. Doesn't have the most sort of lengthy CC chain, I would say, for the likes of the Ziggs or the Lee Sin, but obviously can set things up pretty well. Pantheon, I think, is just pretty standard. I think what Hanj and Brian have is pretty standard in terms of the picks, in terms of responding. You know, just having a Gnar blind, having a Pantheon with the global pressure, and Anivia into the Ryze, Caitlyn Bard. These are generally just things you see in the current meta. On the side of D+, it's a lot about pairings, right? The Camille with the Ziggs, the Ryze with the Lee Sin, Tristana specifically into the Gnar, but also a lot of things that benefit from the Ryze and the Camille's ability to hold still. The Tristana, the Lee Sin, and the Ziggs all benefit from other champions who hold them still, and that's what the Ryze and the Camille can do. So a lot about the synergies that they have there. I do think that the composition that D+ have is a little bit more volatile, but there's a lot of potential for them just to blow people up in that regard. I think Shu is the person I'm looking at the most volatility around this Tristana pick. He has got that previous game on this top lane pick. We'll see what he can do with it.
So this is these are Pro Academy players actually that have come down to support their older brothers here in the LCK with hopes and dreams of obviously being in the LCK. So best of luck to them as they get a taste of it tonight. We'll see how many games they get, as it is D+ Kiev versus Hans and Brion, game number 2 starting now.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Here we go, game number 2 on the cards. Bro just trying to forget about game number 1 as Career's just gonna flash away. Goes in and goes out with this flash.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of the Pantheon being there and very much had to respect that. Because basically what can happen if the Pantheon just goes W level 1, which you can clear pretty comfortably with W level 1. You get stunned by the Pantheon, then you get stunned by the Anivia, and then you're basically just dead at that point. So had to flash away, would have had to flash away anyway, would have been low. Roma though, already super low in this matchup.
Yeah, this casting, he knew she was in that bush. He's still elected to walk up to the wave. And he takes a really rough trade. Obviously Roamer here is trying to utilize that egg. Gets in for one last auto, but now he's in the wave, and he's taking an insane amount of damage already. And so, not the best egg trade I've ever seen.
Yeah, he basically just ends up at the same HP before he egged.
Yeah, without an egg now!
What was the point?
Eggs are really good. You should probably hold on to them as much as you can, or utilize them in a
Like, he was tanking the minion to proc the egg, but then he just ended up losing all the health anyway.
Yeah.
It was a very silly situation. This has already been a really weird start to the game. We see casting going lethal tempo again to try and handle a little bit better these trades. He's already very low though, and Korea's coming top lane. Korea has already ignited, by the way. So I think he just all-in bot with Ignite, and then he's just running top like, you know what, I'm bored. I don't have Ignite bot lane. I got things to do, places to be. Smash, you're on your own, you're playing Ziggs. I stopped caring about bot lane as soon as I used my summoner spells.
Fair enough. I mean, Career has played an insane amount of champs. I think he's #1 in terms of unique champs at the LCK, and now he's going to add another one to his roster. As we have 2 supports here. Namgung ganking, but who's ganking who? As Shiu goes in onto Namgung, and now we are going to force that flash out of Namgung as they see Careers here.
Both supports top lane at level 2.
Both junglers top lane at level 4.
I remember when this used to be the meta years and years ago, when just every support would just flip top lane a level 2. Just all the time in solo queue, that was just all you would do. More things change, the more they stay the same. Oh, no. Roma's gonna get chunked so hard here. Thumbs up.
I love the thumbs up. Stun comes in and...
Good stun, good stun. He didn't want to lose that much health, you know why?
Oh, no.
Never mind. He does want to lose that health.
Roamer, not like this. And now we're trading again. I mean, game 1 was, okay, Showmaker flashes in, he wants that kill, and the Q gets it! No disengage cone, I am so happy. I say that, and immediately Gideon gets to it with the flash, and he gets away. But it's okay. DK, they were able to get a nice lead and get some action going.
Doesn't Anivia have some sort of a passive?
No, not anymore.
No, oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking that there was some sort of passive effect that Anivia has that might have helped in that situation.
Yeah.
I guess not. No.
Kind of has something to do with Easter or some other holiday.
Doesn't, well, so they go for this play, despite the fact that, I mean, Roma just takes so much damage. The flash was great, but then he holds his flash quite late and just dies. And I think, obviously, mid lane being in this state is pretty bad, but I think there's nothing worse mentally than being in a counter matchup and being this far behind.
Yeah.
Well, I guess other than throwing a game that was like hard won.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I think there is something I recall that I tried to erase from my brain after game number 1.
Yeah, I think the mental state of the bro camp might be having a little bit of a roughy toughy.
All right, Casting has flash here. He's gonna get stunned though. Just elects to hop and tries to flash later. Surely, as no, he's just gonna elect to die instead. As the Ignite was back, and Career says, "Thank you very much for the kill."
I guess saving flash for next game. Because I was thinking, okay, my thought process was he doesn't want to flash and get followed by the hook shot because Korea was saving it. So I was like, okay, he's waiting as long as possible. He's waiting for the hook shot. But then the hook shot came on like, okay, he's going to flash afterwards because then he can hop off Korea. Makes a lot of sense. But then he's waiting for the rocket jump, so he's going to flash the slow from the rocket jump. But then he didn't flash the slow from the rocket jump. But then he just didn't flash. So
I think after he missed all of the 3 windows you listed, he was like, you know what?
Well, then he just died.
I'd rather
I don't
leave
know.
it at this point.
Last game was very competitive. This game, both the solo laners are down 20 CS and a kill.
Yeah.
It's not looking so competitive.
That's why the game throw... the game 1 throw.
Call it as it is, Brendan.
I mean, we all know what it is. It definitely was a throw. The game 1 throw. It was so important because, bro, like, you're the underdog coming into today. You're in a winning position. Like, you gotta close those out. If DK ever gives you an opportunity, if you play well enough to get the opportunity, you have to take them. And the fact that they lost that now, and then we come into here, and obviously their mental's not in the best spot after game number 1, and now after the start of game number 2.
They spent so much bro tax getting to that winning position.
Yeah.
And now they need to restock the coffers. They're running on fumes right now. Oh.
Who's beating who here as the Camille is back, although he's only level 4. So Shiyu just trying to peel for Shiyu essentially as Career is going to successfully do that.
Okay, I was a little worried about the tower hit there, but Casting tanky enough to not get within kill range. But it does feel bad when you're committing the Pantheon ult and not getting a kill on the back of the play. Oh no.
Yeah, he accepts the bounce, gets rooted for 2 seconds. And this Anivia it's just not going well.
It really is not.
It's got Swifties, and every time Showmaker's like, yeah, okay, you want to trade, I'll just stand in your ult.
He just eats the stun, he just wins the trade. It's so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, he has Mig Treads as well, so he just doesn't really... Oh no. It's okay, he's fine.
Lucid grubs?
Yeah, doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well, but...
Uh-oh. Okay, he's fine.
I mean, he can just go through it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a flash away here from Teddy. As the satchel value defensively, Ox.
Yes.
Pretty huge.
Yeah, very impressive. That's how you use it. So there was a point in this game, I wasn't sure when, I was going to find a moment to say, well, at least there's one lane that's going okay. I've missed my chance. Teddy now losing both of his summoners in the 1v1.
Yeah.
Jungle's also down. Oh, no.
Yeah, speaking of that lane.
No.
Yeah, he's just dead. I mean, there's nothing he can do. Namgung is top. And he's going to help out in the dive. The stun is not going to land, so that's the flash down. This is going from bad to worse to even more worse.
No,
like, what is the next word after worse?
It's okay, guys. It's okay. It's a best of 5.
They have one more chance.
They have another chance because this game is quickly slipping away from them. Very quickly slipping away from them.
Yeah.
Like, there are obviously scaling elements on Bro's composition, but there are also scaling elements of D+'s composition. They just do not look locked in this game. They look a little bit locked out. They've forgotten their keys. Their phone has run out of battery.
Yeah, they tried to climb in the window, but
they slipped and fell, and There was dog poop outside the window.
Yeah.
And they landed in it. Oh man, it's so
Their
bad.
neighbor was watching, like just laughing at them. It was
And
really
then they're like,
embarrassing.
"Hey, do you have the spare key still?"
Yeah, okay. Flash forward with the kill! And the Mines in the auto gets the kill. Smash with the solo. And Namgung just watched the whole thing.
He's the neighbor! He's the neighbor! Oh no!
Oh,
He's
man.
the neighbor! He had the spare key, but he's not opening the door.
Giggling.
Oh man.
Yeah. This is where we just get that picture of Papa Smithy saying, "Go next fast." And we just kind of like, okay, guys, like, go next. I don't know.
얘네 많이 나오는 거 보면 아래 있는 것 같아.
Oh, the satchel under the tower is beautiful. It's a work of art, honestly.
잡았어?
Got it.
What? That's
Oh?
Premier Ziggs gameplay. Oh.
Maybe a kill on a Siu? Yeah? Pantheon here? Okay. They did it.
We're
Bro got
so
a
back.
kill.
We're so back.
It's the first stone.
You know what? Whoever just paid their bro tax right at that moment, that was thanks to you.
Yeah. Well, Bromer does have A, but there are 3 people mid, and I think with a Lee Sin and a Camille, it should be easy enough.
Okay, I didn't say stop paying the bro tax.
Please listen, guys. Come on. And, I mean, that is something you can do, kind of like a roaming death squad with Lee Sin and Camille. And essentially, if anyone's alone or out of position, they just die. So, good stuff from DK. And already a second Drake. The mid lane turret might go down before 14 minutes.
Yeah, this is such an early Drake. Also, they have triple... Oh, the trap?
Okay, definitely a good shot here to take down Smash. That satchel not going to help out too much either. Just going to throw everything in the kitchen sink, although Teddy is also going to go down to the Ignite. His career picks that one up, so it's just a trade of kills.
Okay. They get the Dragon. It's all my Infernal Soul Ziggs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nice ult back from casting. Good setup on the play. And then no good way out of this one, really. No real outplay potential.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
This was pretty slick from Lucid. The kick flash to follow the flash from Roma. Roma just not having a good time. And then this one. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Satchel from Smash in this situation.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there it was.
Yeah.
A little bit late.
They just kind of knew he would sit in the brush, I guess.
Yeah, once you get bard ulted, you kind of into bard Caitlyn. Once you get bard ulted, it's kind of over.
Yeah. So, at least they get the one
It is
back.
still 2 Dragon lead, 3 Grubs lead, 4,600 gold lead at 13 minutes. Odds are still pretty rough. But Hanj and Brion have started doing stuff. So there is that going for them.
Yeah. Better late than never, as they say.
They do say that.
Although, as I was saying earlier, maybe, you know, it's better to just save the doing for game 3.
I don't agree. I think you want to warm up in this game. Before I mean, ideally, this is a hot take, but ideally you actually do enough stuff in game 2 that you win game 2. But, you know, that does, I admit, that's a little lofty for now.
All right, we're just going on in. Straight into the Anivia. He's going to get the reset on the jump. Jumps over the wall, and Romer, he's really not enjoying his time here in this game.
So anyway, you lose game 2.
Oh, casting died too.
So anyway, you lose game 2. But at least you warm up in game 2 by doing some stuff, and then when you go to game 3, you're in the mindset of doing stuff.
Yeah.
At least.
Don't give up this valuable practice time.
Yes, but I think... Yeah, I think it's once again, it was never not looking like a game 3 angle, but it's looking like a game 3 angle. The solo laners just having a roughy toughy.
Yeah. I mean, they did not have to pick Blind Gnar.
No, they didn't.
There are options, as we can see. Tristana is good. You already have a lot of roam power. The fact that the other lanes are winning, that Career can roam, you know, it just makes Casting's life even harder on top of just the blind pick Gnar. So I think that was definitely a decision that they made that maybe they will be regretting. But again, it's not all about the drafts, especially in this one, as yes, that is a Tristana. As they're going to be diving this one. The stun comes in, they get him into the wall, the exhaust is there as well, but the damage takes forever to take him down. They finally get the kill, as now a Ziggs bomb from Narnia, actually just mid lane, and they are going to get a kill onto both of them. Nice little dive in the bot lane.
They get the kills, they get out. Bro are doing stuff. And they're still extremely far behind in terms of gold, but they are getting things done. So I don't think you can really ask for anything else in this situation. Are they still massively far behind in terms of gold? Yes. But they are still trying to get things done. They're still just trying to be proactive. Now they're looking for Showmaker. Oh, he will just kill you.
Yeah. Well, he's got the ability to tank at least a little bit of damage.
Yeah, the Celestial opposition. Showmaker is godlike at this point.
Yeah.
Not in terms of score, but just how strong he is. So you really do need Celestial opposition to oppose him at this point. Yeah, this was a tough one. A lot of CC layered. It was well played by Bro, honestly, here. And Korea was trying to keep them interested, but not the best ability to do so when he doesn't have ultimate. The Ziggs are so close to getting a couple of kills there. 5,400 gold. See, they're making those plays, not really doing much to the gold lead. I mean, it's done a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we did have 6,800. That was the peak.
The problem is, they've got the triple grubs, and the triple grubs are stronger than they were before. So they're just taking more and more towers.
Yeah.
They have a Ziggs as well. I don't know if you know this, by the way, Brendan.
It's Tristana Ziggs, the combo.
Yeah. These champions pretty good at taking towers. I don't know if you've heard this.
I have seen it with my own eyes many a time.
Heard the rumors.
In the LCK.
These champions.
I mean, the Ziggs pretty early on from DK was definitely heads up, you know. Just go ahead, pick the Ziggs by himself. We'll find a support that works. And they did. I mean, there were 2 supports banned against him as well, Nautilus and Pyke, and yet Career's like, no, I'll just play Camille. He could have played Leona.
Yeah, and now in this situation, D+ have managed to secure their 3rd dragon. So 5 minutes until Infernal Soul. Yeah, it's tough sell.
Yeah.
Tough sell indeed. Okay.
Definitely the timer was started early in this one.
Here's the thing, right? Showmaker gets very Showmaker gets very strong when he hits level 16, correct?
Yeah.
But Dragon's in 4 minutes. I don't know if he's going to hit level 16 in time.
Yeah.
So maybe you get to fight Dragon before he's level 16. That's the pitch. Not a very good pitch, is it?
No.
No, it's not.
But I admire the effort.
Yeah. Effort's not playing in this game, though.
No, he's not. He's the.
But you're welcome to admire him.
Support of KT.
Yeah.
Should be playing tomorrow, I believe. Up against the winner of this one.
Correct.
And now they're just going to drop the Rift Herald to mid. I mean, can throw up a wall. That's going to help.
Nice.
Bro are doing things. Oh, wait. No.
Oh, my lord.
No. Okay, Lockett got buffed, right? Yeah, Roamer has egg. He's fine.
Okay. Well, they didn't die.
Yeah. It could have been worse, you know? They could have taken out mid-tier. Wait. Yeah, well, they did. Nobody can answer the Rise. Nobody can answer the Tristana. And Ziggs is with the other 3 pushing turrets.
Nobody can answer the question, how are they supposed to win from here? That's truly what we're wondering.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they are still going for that line of thinking of let's just try and pick them off individually one by one. And I think that is their best avenue right now. They have been doing that. It has allowed them to get influxes of gold. But one of the problems is the shutdowns aren't even that crazy because they've been getting those kills. Only Lucid and Showmaker have shutdowns, and they're not that big. I think the best course of action is you have a dragon fight in 2 minutes. Baron is up and available. You have to somehow, in some ungodly manner, win that dragon fight, and then get Baron off the back of it, and then just take a ton of structures and get a ton of gold. That's the crazy avenue. It's ambitious. I don't think it's really likely.
I don't think they have the comp for it either.
Maybe the enemy top laner will just TP in front of you randomly, and you'll just win. I've seen that happen before.
I've seen that happen
in an LCK game.
It has happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the pitch.
When you look at their comp, you know, Anivia and Caitlyn take some time to get online.
But also you need control. Like those are picks that you like need control of an area. They're good at stalling. It's hard to push into the base and take it. But they're not very good at moving into an area. They're like, I want to set up a dragon and you have to approach us.
All right, the rocket build value, and now Teddy's just going to get ulted here by Career. They're going very deep for the kill on a Caitlyn, and they will pick it up. Career even does survive, as now we got a bit of a 2v2 here. And DK trying to get out, but Showmaker has other ideas, already chunking out Gideon, and Lucid with a max range Sonic Wave picks up 2 kills. And I mean, it's 21 minutes into the game, so maybe they don't end right now, but the game has been over for quite a while, as they will take out Roamer. And insane Lee Sin play from the side of Lucid, and they're even just going to try to go for the ends.
Just so close, you know. They nearly had it. Nearly had it. Yeah, well, we'll be going to Game 3 a little bit earlier than I previously imagined. And we'll see if Teddy can stall them out on this push. No, I don't think so. That's going to end it now.
Yeah, we're just going to kill all the members of Pro that try to contest them. Lucid, his Lee Sin, looking extremely good in this game. Also takes it away from Gideon in this best of 5. As the Nexus is going to go down. We had a close one in Game 1, and we had the exact opposite in Game 2. It was a far one.
It's just crazy how insanely close Game 1 was, and it feels like coming into Game 2, Hanj and Brion just weren't able to focus up. D+ just ran over them. To be blunt, to be honest, they just completely bowled over them, and now Hanj and Brion need a reverse sweep to keep their hopes alive, to keep their chances alive of making it to MSI. They need to win 3 games in a row. This series very easily could have been 1-1, and if you're being honest, if they'd won that Game 1, who knows how this Game 2 could have gone if the mentality was different, but that's not how it panned out. And now they really have to change things around. This game was so one-sided. There just was never really any hope.
Yeah, every lane lost, and very early on, and all the objectives went to D+K. So it really just felt like there wasn't a lot of hope for them on the comeback unless DK made a big mistake, and they didn't. It was very clean from them. You know, a couple of dives that went the way of Bro, but that was it. And they got big wins elsewhere on the map. And I saw CV Max even didn't have all that much to say. You know, he was kind of just watching the replays like, well, I usually have a lot to say, but guys, I don't know. This one was pretty good. 2-0 here for D+K as we head towards Game 3.
이번 찍겠어 들어가.
베이팅만 봐, 베이팅.
이번에 메가나를
이렇게
빠지게.
빠졌고.
얘네 여기 나온다. 야
맞아.
나
나 캐틀 볼게.
아르테.
야 여기 좋은데.
나를 볼게. 나를.
나 빨았어. 반전.
아 좋긴 해. 싸우자. 아 구도 좋은 거 같은데.
깡태 한번 맞아.
얘들아 난 끝이야. 난 집이야 얘들아.
아 우리끼리 이길 거 같아.
나봐줘.
다 죽여.
난 집이다.
가져왔어. 야 끝낼만 돼?
야 나도 안 갈게.
잡으면 끝나.
야 나머지 미드 해봐. 나머지 미드.
시야 미드 헬 타봐.
알았어 여기.
야 와볼래?
직스라 끝날 거 같은데?
가보자.
얘들아 믿어.
I think they're the potato getting smashed by a patio. Well, Sponge is gonna go in there looking for Showmaker, but the Stop it! He is able to go down finally as Lucid goes in, but I don't think he's getting out this time. It's a double kill for Hanande. Because it's Jin, he only wants to get 4 as Kingin could be the pentakill, but no snapper! Pentakill to ruin the vibes of the Jin, but to make E+. She was gonna get hopped on here by Rich. The exhaust, but I don't think that Chiyu wins this one. He's tumbling, and Rich is just going to kill him. Oh, flash! And they kill each other the front blood!
아 걸렀던데 그래.
아니 우리 쫓아가 생각하자.
No chance of locking down the soul, and now the bros just want to leave, and Ruler just doesn't want to let them. The exhaust comes down, the feather storm is gorgeous, as somehow Duro mops 2 of them up with a quickness. What the heck was that?
Gonna force a big trade though is Dorn, and I think that might bait Perfect in. Dorn does have the last wave taking damage though, and 1-2 gets the first blood. As Perfect's like, oh, so that's why you were doing that.
안 돼요?
영이야.
Oh, the wall. And the wall, the ghoulish wall comes up. Perfect, man. He is so good.
This is so big to KT because Ona has nothing to do on the map.
Well, he's just gonna go in for it anyway. The Shroud is there. There's the R1. He's looking for it.
진짜 빨리 필인데. 야 제이트 필이야.
Wonderful play, Carrier! Unbelievable angle! He catches 4 in the team fight, and the game just ends. It's just over.
지렸는데요?
캐리온.
잘 드신다 근데 생각보다.
백호조가 들어가서 그런가?
그런 것 같아요.
그 정도로 맛있다고요?
아무래도 제가 했다 보니까 맛있을 수밖에 없긴 한데. 근데 클채님 괜찮으신가? 좀 지리신 것 같은데.
아니 저런 리액션이 음식 먹고 나올 수가 있나요?
위아래로 눈물을.
아니 저 이거 Every sky is a line I've drawn. Cut by cut, mark by mark, my name forever in the stone.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the space. Now, the Bros in game number 1, they tried a tactic where they were in a winning position for the majority of the game. That unfortunately didn't work. In this game, they decided to try something completely different. That was be in a horribly losing position for the entire game. And that also, gentlemen, did not work.
I think there's a lot of frustration right now in the Bro camp. I think there's a lot of tilt, I would say. It seems like there's a lot of emotions at play here. I want to talk about the draft because one thing really stood out to me when I saw this draft early on is the counterpick Anivia for Roamer. And I was like, I don't think so. Not into Showmaker, not in Showmaker's current form. I see this matchup, I see these two players, and I go, this isn't going to work. Like, I feel like when we look at Anivia's success in the LCK, you're looking at the upper echelon only. Like, top mid laners only, great, strong laning mid laners only who are going to be able to pilot this pick. And I just thought, well, this isn't going to work at all. The Gnar pick was cool because they banned the Vayne, but they kind of forgot that Shiyu likes to play the Tristana top. He was the first one to do it here in Korea, so it didn't work out there either.
Yeah, so the Caitlyn bar didn't work out really well, even though they had like first phase of pick. That they just mainly focus on the bot lane, right? But I think Smash's Jix definitely kind of zoned them out from the lane. And I think also the Korea Camille had such a great early game with Lucid Lee Sin. So I think they couldn't even have a single chance in this game. They couldn't really do anything because your pick doesn't really snowball if you lose the laning phase.
Not to mention the Pantheon they have that doesn't have side lanes to play through if the Gnar falls behind. They have an Anivia, so there isn't anywhere to go for the Pantheon. So it felt like they just kind of tier list picked it. This felt like a huge draft gap for me in this matchup here.
And that was also alongside a bit of a everything gap, to be perfectly honest. Should we have a look at the gold first, Wolf?
Yeah, look at this. So this is at just past 8:30 in the game, and you can see there's massive leads, especially in CS, right, in the top and mid lanes here. And the jungle obviously getting out farmed as well. Lucid power farming through this, getting way ahead of Gideon. So I just wanted to highlight that even though there were some disasters, which we'll get into a little bit in the early game, the matchups here just went so poorly. Roamer's Anivia pick did not work out. He got completely destroyed in lane. Tristana counterpick we've seen from Shiyu before into the Gnar. Got super far ahead, and part of those leads is what happened here as well.
Yeah, I think they need to accept that they can't really take the fight early, by the way. They literally have Ryze and Lee Sin and Camille support. And I think they should just let them have it, because I think in this kind of concept that like you have such a strong counterpick on the mid lane after level 6, then I think you should just like let them have it and just wait for your level 6. And it goes same for the top side. Gnar has flash, by the way.
Yeah. So in this situation for casting, right, like the wave's in a horrible spot because of the matchup, and then he just gets roamed on by Career. Career is at the right place, right time so much in this game. Similar situation here where Roamer already had a bit of a tough time early and is picked off here. Great play from Lucid. Ended up taking out the Anivia there twice through the egg passive. There's just no answer. There's no support here for Roamer whatsoever, who's already so far behind, just became free food for D+. And D+ are just like, we're just going to roll through this game. There's no resistance.
And honestly, there was a lot more confidence from D+ here as well. And I think if you're a D+ fan at home, you can feel relieved about them playing this well through advantages, because even then, sometimes they can sort of trip on their face. This time around, the confidence remained throughout the entirety of the game. And yes, they had some flashy moments, but this time it was all controlled, measured, and done at the right times.
Yeah, this is what happens when we have so many young talents in the game. Career just goes in on the Caitlyn. Instantly, Lucid follows up with his max range Q, and he's going to clean up all the target, even though the fight looked a little bit closer than it should be.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, we all just wanted to watch more of Lucid's highlights, right? Which is why we picked this clip, because the game was so over, but not for Lucid. He was still having some fun. He was still enjoying himself. I wonder what Bro, if they're struggling this much in Game 2 draft here against D+, what their plan is for 3 and then 4 and then 5, because they walked into a lot of face-up traps here in this one. I thought their Game 1 draft was really strong, but here, a little lost.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, Loki is in. So Roamer is out after that Anivia performance. I guess it does kind of make some sense to get some new blood there in the mid lane, but does this change enough, Wolf?
I don't know. I mean, I personally don't like to see subs like this in best of 5s normally, but I think when you look at the individual performance, this is one of those rare cases where I'll give an exception and say, I think you got to give Loki a shot here because this is your last chance, right? If you don't win here and you didn't give Loki a shot, you're always going to wonder what happened, what could have happened rather, if Loki turned things around.
I mean, I don't like it either because I feel like it's not the individual skill mistake that they are making right now. I think it's more like decisiveness that they're missing. Like in the game 1, literally, they had the insane lead. They could drop the rumble, but they looked for the fight even though they were 1 HP, so they lost a game. Game 2, even though they were having a losing matchup in the early game, they looked for the fight and they lost, and the game 2 was over. So in the game 3, same thing is gonna happen. Like nothing is gonna change if Loki's in. Like, I don't think it's the individual skill mistake. I think Brion as a team, they need to look up, like they need to clean up what they're gonna look for like before the game. That's why the pre-plan exists. You know, I think from the draft you can already see how the game is gonna go. So I think they just need to like set up the list that what they want to look for in the game, because all the plays that they're making right now is like everything is just instant.
If there are synergy issues now that Loki is in, this could make things worse as well, is one of my concerns, right? The synergy issues could be there.
I've got the Broptimism though. Loki has been sitting backstage with Coach Song this entire time.
True.
Coach Song has dissected the DK playstyle, understood exactly what they want to do at every instance, right? And now Loki, charged with all of that knowledge, all of that information, is now ready to lead the bros to the promised land. Yeah?
There's a lot of pressure on Loki right now. I think
Huge pressure.
He sinks or swims, right? This could be what puts him on the map for a lot of people, right? When he reverse sweeps D plus Kia, comes in last minute, it changes the entire environment, and then bro go to Wonju. You know, they keep pushing, they take this momentum and win later. Maybe, but otherwise they might just crumble, and this might be a forgettable series.
Well, let's just see. Valdez, Ox, do you believe in the Broptimistic approach?
Thank you, Spacers. I was listening to everything you had to say, and then I saw that sign, and everything disappeared from my head. No, I think it's fine just because sometimes subbing in a new player can really change up the entire environment on the team. It can change the way that calls are done. And Loki's very capable. We just haven't seen him in a while. So I'm okay with it. I'm more on the Broptimism side.
I personally think, you know, the big Gideon head, if they'd gotten one of those for every single player, I think this would be a different series.
I think Gideon's playing really well.
Yeah. So I think the power of the big Gideon head is really helping.
Yeah.
And maybe if we'd had a big Roma head, he would have been chilling in the last
Is there a big Loki head?
I'm looking.
Can we get confirmation on the Loki head?
I don't see a big Loki head.
Yeah.
You
it's
know,
only Gideon.
Missed out there.
Well, opportunity.
We'll have to see if he can survive without the big Loki head.
We haven't seen Loki in a while. I think he was struggling when he did get subbed out. And also Romer looks good when Romer came back in. So I think that's why Romer has stayed the entire time. And he's probably been scrimming with the main roster more. So I understand where our Spacers are coming from in terms of their more negative approach to this sub. But I don't know. Sometimes you just have to throw kind of a curveball, a Hail Mary, and hope that it works. And, you know, the coaching staff of Bro right now are in a really rough spot because after you watch game 1 and then you see game 2, you're like, well, I don't, you know. A lot of hope can be lost very quickly. And so maybe they're just trying to turn the tides with some kind of an unexpected play here by throwing in Loki.
I think the best thing you can do in a best-of-5 situation, when you're in a scenario like this, you're down 2-0, is just forget, and it's easy to say, but just forget about the stakes, forget about the fact it's a best-of-5, forget about the fact you're 2-0 down, and just think, just one game, what has gone wrong, and what do I need to focus on? What is like one individual specific thing that we want to focus on in this game and try and get right? And if we get that right and we still lose, at least we got that thing right. Because I think the second you start thinking about the bigger picture, you just get lost in it. And I think for Loki coming in, he just has to think, you know, lane has obviously been a struggle for Roma into Showmaker. He just has to think, get me a good matchup, I'm going to match into Showmaker, and I'm going to have a good laning phase. And if they still lose despite that, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's for me, I think that's what Han Brion should focus on. Get Loki a good matchup, and then hopefully Loki does well in lane, and then you just handle it from there. Right now, they have obviously gone for first pick in this game. Last
Give
time,
him Annie.
Second pick.
Annie. No.
They're going to go for Ezreal for Teddy. I mean, Teddy's a phenomenal Ezreal, so does give him a safe pick he can operate on in the team fights.
Sure. I think it's definitely a good pick for Teddy, for your veteran, for one of the guys that made game one possible until it wasn't. So not a bad call to try to go back and scoop from the Teddy Pop. But now they are going to pick the Annie away. And still a lot of junglers that can go very well with this. You can go Wukong, which is kind of the obvious pairing. But even Vi for Lucid.
DK, we're in the Rise group. They know.
Not anymore. But they have that information.
They knew the technology from last year.
They downloaded it, and then they're taking it to Legend Group now.
Yep. But obviously Ezreal, one of the better AD carries, is staying safe against that. And now a lot of jungle picks have obviously been thinned out. There is still the Xin Zhao, which is an option. Gonna go for the Ezreal Nico.
Not when what did's here.
A lot of the pairings, I feel like, for Ezreal, I mean, I say a lot. Bard isn't there. It's like Bard and Karma not there. They go for the Jace, though. Going for like a longer range poke composition. This feels risky to me for Han Brion. Especially because I think of picks like Aurora, who do well into Annie, who we often see picked into it, not going to be necessarily available when you go through the second rotation. You go for the Jace, there's still the likes of the Scion available. Like, if I look at this composition, I think Ezreal Nico, finesse. I think Jace, I think finesse. These are picks that we haven't always seen teams able to pull off. I look at Scion, Annie, Wukong. These are like prime.
Yeah.
Easy to play.
Can we put Han Brion kind of on the left? Like, can we swap spots?
This is just straightforward. It's the sort of composition that when you're down 2-0, this is what you draft. You draft Scion, you draft Annie Wukong, because it's hard to get it wrong. And I feel like D+ have given themselves straightforward picks, and Han Brion have given themselves sort of finesse picks where it's tricky. You have to be operating at a really high level, and I just don't think it makes sense when you're 2-0 down because you're giving yourselves additional challenges. So,
yeah, and D+ Kia, sometimes when they're ahead, oftentimes when they're ahead, they do like to get a bit wonky. So hopefully this simple composition can help them keep their heads on straight and not head down the path of weirdness.
Yep, I am interested in what they pick in the bot lane because they've obviously got a tank top laner. They have a lot of that initial engage, but would like a bit of DPS in the bot lane to follow up on that upfront burst and the fact that they have a tank top laner. So I think one thing is that Nami, having lost a lot of power with the mandate changes, does kind of weaken
Mel.
Okay. I guess the thought process here is that so far this is a pretty squishy composition for Han Brion, so maybe they're like, no, we have enough damage, we can just explode them. And honestly, as far as mages go, Mel does a lot of damage. But
yeah,
Mel comes through.
If it's a long-range poke war, I think she's going to be very happy. There's no way Loki subs in and plays Fizz, right? That's not something that people do. All right, now come on.
Okay.
Talia gonna be the pick.
So, as for pairings with Mel, we often see a pick that has a good amount of setup. But here specifically into Nico, I feel like, I mean, you could play Pyke. Mel Pyke has been the common pairing.
Yeah. Shen.
I like Shen more. I think picks like Shen or Leona can circumvent the clone better than Pyke can.
Yeah.
Because if you play Pyke, when you charge up your skewer, Nico just sends out the clone. But with Shen, you can just taunt through. With Leona, you could just Zenith Blade through. And also now, when you send out the Wukong, you can kind of just submarine on top of him. And it's a big threat to the backline.
Yeah.
I think this is a very scary composition to play into for Han Brion. keeping your backline alive is going to be difficult. That being said, if D+ fall behind, they don't have insane amounts of DPS. They don't need insane amounts of DPS because it's not very tanky composition. But that's if they're ahead of the curve. If they start to fall behind, it could feel a little bit awkward.
The hidden sign came out, was like, I don't know if that was a CV Max quote or not, but it was like, did you think before you did the ban pick? Interesting sign there. And yeah, very scary comp. It goes in one direction, and then you've got Mel as the artillery. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You don't have an AD carry, but there's no tankiness on the other side except from Zhao. So we'll see what they can do on the side of Breon, if they're going to make this an interesting series, or will D+ Kia just run away with it as we hop into the rift for game number 3.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Here we go, game number 3. The Breon faithful still believing. And they should. I mean, to be honest, there is a big gap this year between Legend and Rise. It's very different from last year where D+ Kia barely got pushed and forced into the Rise group by having just barely slightly worse record than KT and Nongshim. This time, bro, are very far behind in terms of the wins in series. 5 series wins behind D+ Kia, who are in 5th. So Legend and Rise, there is a big gap. And bro, here for Road to MSI, they have squeaked in as the 6th seed. So it was always going to be a challenge. But I want to see more of game 1. Not game 2. Nobody wants to see that.
No.
I feel like even D+ Kia fans are like, I don't know, like that wasn't that interesting. Like, can we get some better gameplay?
They don't trust it. Like, who is this team?
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, for Hanj and Breon, they've given themselves some strong lanes. Want to see them play it out correctly. Double range bot into range melee. They should be having pressure bot. Loki's got the prio mid. That's kind of expected. The top lane, even though we've seen the top lane matchup go amiss many times, casting should have the pressure in this matchup. So you need to be having the city pressure if Hanj and Breon are going to be successful. A little bit of win lane, win game.
Yeah.
Starts with win lane.
Don't get ahead of yourself and try to win the game before you win the lane. These are all very good picks for the side of D+ Kia. I suppose Shiyu has kind of the record that's the most sus, but still 2-2 is not bad. As Gideon, he gets in, but cloning away from the wind becomes lightning, and now Career just flashes on in. There's the taunt, and Gideon's just dead. The big Gideon head not going to help him this time as Lucid picks up first blood.
The problem is, I think Gideon was in the mindset of, I have my red buff. Red buff is really strong early. It's giving me a lot of power. But enemy support is closer, and it's also a Shen. I think you have to read, he's always going to taunt flash on you. It's just very telegraphed. And if you get hit by that, you're just dead. Just 100 times out of 100, that is the exact passage of play that's going to happen. And he just simply didn't react to it. I want to see the replay and see exactly the timing and the vision that was available. But if you get hit by that, that's exactly how it's going to go down every single time.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward, as you mentioned. Here's the replay.
Yeah, so he had the ward over the wall, so he knew Korea was here. So he knows exactly...
Namgoong's right next.
As soon as Korea taunts, you know he's going to flash. There is no Shen player in the entire world who taunts over the wall just to gap close and then walks it. That's just never happening.
Not at this level.
No, not even in, like, silver.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah, to me, that's, like, you have to flash as Gideon, and the fact he didn't is just kind of a big mistake. And then it puts him really far behind in the jungle. So, pretty big error there, and a good play from Korea.
Cleanse is extremely valuable for Teddy in this game. He's going to lose it, but now Career's in a rough spot. He's getting poked out, and I think he just kind of dies. Is trying to go back in, but now the setup here for Smash just gets the kill. As Teddy was taking damage the entire time they were pushing onto the Shen, and Namgoong has to flash away.
honestly, very close. Just second kill for Smash. But Korea overextends. It's a little delicate in that situation, but able to turn it around at the last second with the Ignite, and Smash is able to get the kill. So this ends up massively favorable for D+, because they get the cleanse. And as they're kiting out, Smash is just constantly getting damage down. And you see, as the play continues, he's trying to dodge away.
Yeah.
He's trying to kite, the rebuttal comes through, and he gets that auto and that ignite. And that's enough. But they burnt Cleanse and Namgoon's Flash. So really favorable trade in terms of summoners there. On top of the one for one kill trade, and it was Smash who survived, so you got to push in the wave. Things going really well for D+ so far.
Yeah. And, I mean, you were just talking about how Bro have all these winning lanes. They really have to utilize them, get ahead, so that they're not in a position where they don't have vision and they get engaged on by Wukong and Shen and Annie, or flanked by a Scion. I mean, there's just so many threats. You really have to win the lane here as Bro. And, I mean, they're not super far behind after that one play. Even the play in the jungle. Showmaker is going to throw in the bear onto Gideon as he finds a Xin Zhao where he didn't want to see him. As Showmaker is trying to move down towards the dragon, which is being taken here by Lucid.
Yeah, not really in a position to contest this one. Lucid is so far ahead of Gideon. I think there's nothing worse than going for an early invade when you're 2-0 down in the series and it backfiring. Especially when Gideon's been pretty solid.
I thought you said there's nothing worse than when you're in a counter matchup, you're the counter and you lose the lane.
Look, there's a lot of things that are really bad, okay? There's nothing worse than playing into Mel and firing an ability and getting it fired back at you.
Yeah, especially when you're behind and you have to play into Mel. You could be ahead, honestly.
I think what we can agree.
Uh-oh. Well, he doesn't have cleanse, so he's going to have to use the flash.
I think there's nothing worse than getting ganked and banning your flash.
Well, he could be not Ezreal.
That's true.
Then it would be worse.
I think what we can agree is that there's a lot of things that are pretty bad, and sometimes I exaggerate a little bit.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
It does happen from time to time.
Perhaps.
Hey, casting got a lead in top. You know, he's had kind of a rough day today, but
that's good.
He's been able to turn it around, so that's good for him.
Yep. See. Mid lane's pretty even, so there is some positives to be taken away. And look, they're not mega far behind this game, which is definitely better than game 2.
Yeah.
Gotta take the silver linings.
Yeah, I just think, you know, after what we've seen so far today, even a small lead that goes the way of D+ Kia, especially with some of the mistakes that we don't usually see at this level, that did happen even in this game. You begin to get a bit scared, a bit fearful that Bro are not going to make this an interesting series. But as of right now, I mean, the game is still in touching distance, so we'll see what happens. We'll give them a chance. Loki's playing Talia in mid. He's going to accept a bear to the face, as you do when you play into Annie.
I think, honestly, playing into Annie is just so unfun in the mid lane.
There's nothing worse.
There's nothing worse than playing into Annie in the mid lane.
Yeah, and just not being able to trade against Tibbers.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than getting zoned off bot lane tower by the enemy bot lane and jungle, and you can't farm.
Yeah. Especially when you're Teddy, and at this point, especially now that Gideon's fallen behind, you kind of need to do the carrying in this game. But I do like the play from D+ Kia where they say, okay, well, we've gotten a lead here. We can utilize our big jungle lead as well. As now trying to go for the play, as in they go. Big Cyclone on a 3. They want to take out Loki, but he will survive for now. Gideon also flashes away, but a stun here on an Namgung, and he's going to go down. So kind of paying for his brothers who did get caught. And that's another kill on the board here for D+ Kia.
There's nothing worse than when you're behind in the jungle and they steal your blue buff.
end your Gromp.
Oh my god, there really is nothing worse than that. Okay, I've said it to it. I'm going to stop now. It's hitting me. There's nothing worse than when the casters say there's nothing worse too many times.
Yeah, can they please just talk about the game, you know?
Yeah, so the Unraveled Earth is a little late, and then I was so scared for Loki because the Crescent Guard knocked them towards him. But they all just flash away, and then Namgun just dies as a sacrifice. But even though the lanes are kind of going well earlier, Smash has got to the point where he's just built up the pressure. He's a big problem. He's now ahead. Jungle is bleeding out. And Showmaker hit that level 6 point on Annie where he now just, oh look, he's got Tibbers back. I wonder what he's about to do.
Yeah.
Any second now. There we go. Wow.
There it is.
What an interactive lane.
There are things worse than this, but it doesn't feel good.
There's not many.
Yeah. I tried to mix it up, you know. Try a new thing that I say.
That's actually good casting technique. You mix up, you change the wording a little bit.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
I wonder what the evolution of this Mel is going to look like in Pro, because I feel like a lot of our top 80 carries now are really getting good at this champ. And the more we see it, it just feels like you can't punish it that well. It even has pressure with some of the supports we see with it. It can play alone in the lane if it has to. It scales very well. Yeah, sure, you don't have an 80 carry, but I feel like in this meta, especially if you're playing into a composition that doesn't have too much tankiness, you can really get a lot of value. I mean, think about Peas and what he's been able to do on this pick. Smash now, showing a good performance here. I mean, obviously, this isn't the most competitive series so far, but I don't know. Every time I see this Mel in the bot lane, I've been shocked by how much value the teams are getting with it.
Yeah, I think we've definitely seen some very specific comps where it struggled, like into the Olaf. It's been a problem. But I think if you're picking it when you have a good idea of the composition, like here, where you see the top side of the map for the most part, specifically the top laner, helped a lot. I think you can get a good amount of information there, and it makes it a much more informed decision. I think I'm interested in seeing how much the support meta is going to change, because right now Korea has his ultimate, has Locket completed, which has obviously been buffed to give him a bit of extra resistances, but just be able to arrive with the channel and then press Locket. There's a lot of extra durability with that map play. So we'll see what Korea can do with that on hand.
Lucid's playing the way that he played the Jarvan, which is, I'm ahead, I just attack you. And he's even just going to Cyclone in onto Gideon, who does get taunted up. The Pot Blossom is there, but immediately Gideon falls. Loki shows up, and Lucid, there is the shield. And a ton of damage just takes out Teddy, who, I don't know what was going on there, but he got over the wall and just died immediately. Not the play you want to see.
And in this situation, yes, they do finally manage to kill Lucid. But it's a triple kill there for Smash in return. So not really much of a trade you're looking for. It's a 3,000 goal lead at 12 minutes. Just when we're saying at least the game isn't as bad as game 2, it ends up being. So Lucid goes for the engage here. They try and turn things around onto them. But the slide comes in from Korea, the CC, the shielding on Lucid, the ult there at the end. And the burst damage in return. And then casting TPs in doesn't really achieve anything with it. And in the meantime, Shu is just pushing top. So you TP in your Fed, Jace doesn't really contribute too much in terms of helping out. And right now, it's a 1,100 gold lead for Shu. 2,000 gold lead between the bot laners. And if you look, there's a 2,600 gold lead between teams.
The Couriers have had some really highlights, like some big highlights.
One of the things,
and also that
with Shen, is that when you taunt Flash, the taunt is like a line, and then the flash is like a dot. It's like you flash and then you taunt on the precise space you land. If the enemy doesn't have flash, you can just flash taunt. Because then you move, and then the new taunt is like a line. Then you can't really miss. So in that situation, where his target didn't have flash, you should just flash taunt.
Or
he wouldn't miss.
You could just flash on the target as well. That works too.
Yeah, he could have just done that.
Yeah.
But there's just lower chance of fail if you just flash taunts.
Yeah, you're right. It's true.
Because sometimes you do make mistakes, but if he flash taunts, he can't make. Well, unless he just misses the taunt, that would have also been bad. But you know, I think he's allowed himself a mistake in this one. Or has he? Could this be the downfall? Could this be the turning point for Hanjin Brion? The last little bit of bro tax just came in. The tipping point is here, and now they're about to start the recovery for the series. Maybe. But currently it is looking pretty tough.
Yeah. Better late than never. But they need an answer for the Mel. I mean, we talked about all the engage tools for D plus Kia. On the side of Bro, it's Nico. I mean, you have ways to set up plays with, like, Talia. Even Xinjiao can make some stuff happen.
Hey, that rhymed. Ways to set up plays.
Yeah.
You're a poet.
That's how you do it.
You didn't know it.
That's how you do it. And, I mean, they just don't have a lot of ways to get on the mount. Like, he needs to severely miss position or get flashed on big time. As they're trying to do something to Shiyu here. He is very tanky, but they are going to throw everything into him. As now Gideon going to take turret aggro, has to flash away. And all of a sudden, Shiyu's like, maybe I can pick up a kill here in the 1v3.
Yeah, so there was this whole lane swap meta where we learned a lot about diving Scion and the difficulties.
Yeah.
I guess we're relearning those lessons. He's pretty low now.
Yeah.
And the tower, additionally, is pretty low.
Poke at him, you know. Casting is going to get the turret now, but okay, nice knockback there. But we got a Shen coming in, so eventually he will just die. Shiyu does pick him up. Now Loki flashing away as he just picked up his Seraph's Embrace. And, I mean, they got the turret. Did Bro. It's not the first turret, as DK already have two. And they will pick up their third.
Yeah. That whole thing was a little interesting. Hanjin Brion, it kind of feels just like a repeat of Game 2, where they're trying things, and you know they do have to try things, but it just feels very delicate. They're 5,000 gold down. You know, it's the scariest thing in that dive they went for before with 3 people. His ult was up then, and if he'd ulted then, they could have just all died. That would have been even worse. Okay, TP's coming in. Oh no.
Yeah, Combat Herald and Loki.
Where'd he go?
He TP'd into Annie, and so he died. Nice driving here from Lucid, who's also going to get the knock up. And now gets knocked back as he tries to dash away. There's the Cyclone. He's just trying to survive here against 4 people. Getting a little bit silly now, as he didn't have to do that, but he did. So a kill is given over to Bro.
I feel like I have whiplash almost, because last game, it just felt like it always had that vibe.
Yeah.
This game didn't have that vibe, but now it does. It just feels like it's just devolved very quickly. It's a 6,500 gold lead. This is not even close to the most regrettable TP of the series, but it's still pretty regrettable.
Oh no.
Yeah, just instantly deleted. And then they do kill Lucid, so at least that came through. But yeah, you got the gold from the plates, that's something. Smash is just absurdly strong. It's got a pretty absurd level.
Yeah.
Look at the gold difference.
He is the most far ahead by far. Has the most gold in the game of anyone by far, as a awesome dude.
He has 50% more gold than Teddy right now.
Yeah.
Teddy has 7,000 and he has 10,500.
He did the math.
That's just absurd. Well,
who wins, Casting or Tibbers? I think we're gonna find out pretty quickly. As yeah, unfortunately we have to find out about this. Loki was coming down to help, I guess, but at the end of the day, like, once Casting is chunked, he's not going in for a play. Even against the Annie, I don't know if they win 1v2, 2v1. And of course, the rest of DK came in. They have a Shen too, so it's like if you're playing against a Pantheon, right? You have to always remember that they have a global.
Hey, Brennan, look at this gold graph. Remember at 2 minutes,
Yeah.
Remember 2 minutes?
I do remember that, yeah.
And Hanj and Brion were heading gold. I remember those times.
Yeah.
Back when they had a chance.
I was excited after game 1 too. Well, maybe not after, but like all the way up until almost the end.
There was a point I was like, this feels competitive.
Yeah, I was like, maybe we will get a good series today.
I mean, D+, the things we can say, D+, looking like maybe this is the start of a gauntlet run.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he is just dead. He's just very dead.
He's actually just dead.
He's
just waiting for another ability.
Yeah.
Does pick up the kill. And Loki, I mean, again, our spacers talked about it. This is not an enviable position to be subbed into the series, right? But unfortunately, he is also having a rough time here.
Yeah, I think with how D+ are playing, obviously game 1 was a bit of an outlier. Game 2 and 3, though, they look significantly stronger than Hanj and Brion. And when we look at the top 4 in the LCK, prior to this, based on the standings, I felt like there was a pretty big gap between T+ and the rest. But if we look at like current form, KT definitely have looked weaker than the other 3. And based on this form, I think D+ could well be a big challenge for KT. So this is definitely a good showing from D+. Hanj and Brion, though, trying to make a play for Showmaker. Could this be their way back in the game?
8 seconds until the Shen ults. Showmaker's just trying to run it off. Doesn't have his stun back. He needs a couple more abilities.
1 second.
And there's the Molten Shield, and the Q gets the stun. Even the Baron is hitting Gideon. Nobody is helping Bro in this series. As In goes Lucid, trying to take out Teddy. Namgung's right there, and he's like, I'm helping, I swear.
Yeah.
He wasn't really helping. And, yeah. People's key are just kind of shellacking them.
Yeah.
If I can use that term.
You know what? You know, Brendan?
Yeah.
I'm going to allow it. I'm going to allow you to use that
I mean,
term.
you don't have the authority. It's actually Atlas who we do have here.
I'm going to
on the
give
space.
myself the authority to allow you to use that term. So you can just...
Fair enough. Can't argue against that.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Well, Baron will be secured. It's an 11,100 gold lead. This play is not the play that ended this game or this series. It felt pretty over before this, but it definitely did not help. The Wind Becomes Lightning missing, and then he gets stunned and chases him down. Oh, it's a bit of a tough one.
And Teddy's like, I'm going to come over here and try to help you out, Gideon. Lucid was right there. He's level 14.
Yeah.
15 now. He's ahead of Showmaker. They're trying to kill Sion again. I mean, this...
He has ult up in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I actually think he just...
Trying to get in front of him, but he can't. Knockback comes in.
He doesn't even have to ult. He doesn't have to flash.
You know,
he can go back. Go back in. Honestly, Shu, I want to see it. Just go back in.
Yeah, I don't think he would actually die. Like, just get in there and stop Talia's back, you know? True Shot Barrage helps push them off of the turret for now. Yeah, he's back in there. Nobody's actually still here, though.
I am very curious what state Dagon is going to be in after this series.
Yeah, what did, you know, he jumped ship. He went for the 3-2 prediction for DK, so I'm sure he's probably not that hurt. Now looking for the flank here. Namgung trying, but again, the follow-up, it's just really not there. Nobody's here. I mean, Teddy wasn't there. And again, they're super far behind. So Lucid's just going to press his buttons. He's got the Giga Fed smash right behind him. Even the True Shot Barrage, just to add insult to injury. And that's definitely the way that T+Kia likes to do it. Traditionally, definitely very good at punching down, although this series it has been a little bit less of that. In goes Xiu into the Nexus turrets, and yeah, it's just over. They're going to take down Casting, and Teddy, not this time, buddy. Maybe next time, going to try their best in the Rise group, as Bro will not be moving on in the road to MSI. D+Kia with the quick 3-0 tonight.
This was pretty brutal, honestly. This series, we had that game 1 where Bro was so close to a victory, And then game 2 and 3, it just felt like they couldn't recover, they couldn't get it back together, they couldn't focus up, and D+, quite honestly, just demolished them. And it gives a lot of confidence to D+, to their fans, that going forward, maybe this could be the start of a gauntlet run, maybe this could be the beginning of their road to MSI. We'll have to see how far they can go, but for the time being, they're looking in pretty incredible form.
Yeah, Shiu says, we're going up, up, up. It's our moments. You know we're going to be DK Golden? I don't know.
Finish it. Just finish it. Sing the whole thing. I want to hear it.
Well, D+Kia, they have KT. That'll be tomorrow. So if you want to watch more D+Kia, you can see them tomorrow. This, again, that sign that says, Showmaker, I've got a blind date today. I'm going to go win, just like surely you are going to win tonight. And he was right. He didn't even have to watch. That guy who made that sign, he's, I'm confident. Career gives us the 2 hearts.
Honestly, he kind of double booked it though, because like I understand if the series was going on and they left like, oh, I have to go. The series is running out. This was a quick series. Like this was a very quick series.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had to leave early in this one, you were never really gonna be around for this one.
Yeah. Showed up, made the sign, and left. So like, why even? It was a good sign at least.
And you know what? I think it showed that no matter how phenomenal your fan support and sign is, sometimes it's just not enough because the Giga Gideon head was not enough.
That was the best sign we had here all evening.
Yeah.
All of this very lengthy
it just
experience.
It just wasn't enough. And I think, you know, there's 2 sides to this. This is tough for the Hanjin Brion. For them and their fans, obviously. Game 1 gave a lot of hope, even though it was a rough ending. I think you saw that and you thought they can be competitive, but they just really couldn't get their heads back in the game. And now we won't see them again until we get to the Rise group. And obviously expectation is they were on the top end of that. They should be coming out of that at the top end. But D+, they will be playing tomorrow against KT, and what they're showing today, I think odds are pretty good.
Yeah, their odds are very good, and I mean, nothing too deep in the columns here. Just calling, you know, the engage, the flashes, and they're looking to go for it. Shiu having a great time here as a top laner in this game. Just lost lane to Jace and then didn't even really join any team fights. Just won the game and it was over. Best top laner experience for Shiu.
It's just chilling. It's just Jace. I mean, Jace and the Sion. It's just playing the Sion matchup. You just hang out, have a good time, join team fights, be useful. That's how you do. Annie, Wukong, Sion. They may have left the Rise group, they may not be returning, but they understand its essence.
Yeah. They really do, and they're going to bring that technology into Legend Group later on this year. As Showmaker will be picking up the player of the match. Only died once on Victor. Obviously, that game was a lot closer than the other 2.
And that death on Victor was specifically when they tried to 2v5 Baron, and honestly...
and it looked good.
Made it pretty competitive, all things considered. He had a pretty masterful series. Like, the Rise game was insane. Annie game was getting those solo kills as well. Showmaker really having a day out, and we'll be having a pretty big matchup as well tomorrow up against BDD that I'm excited to see. So was in great form today and only has banger matchups in the mid lane going forward in the road to MSI.
Yeah, I said it before, you know, Bro were definitely the biggest underdogs. There is a big gap between Bro and DK, even though they are 5th and 6th. So good on D+Kia for getting the job done in a 3-0 fashion. As we're going to hand it over to Deer for the translation of the POM interview here in just a moment, as we will be hearing from Showmaker there on the stage.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by Showmaker on the side of D plus Kia. Congratulations! Thank you. With that 3-0 clean victory, you advanced to round 2. How do you feel? It was a 3-0 and we made it to the next round, and I really want to make sure that we win tomorrow. It's been a while since you played a best of 5, and you mentioned that it was difficult preparing from the lack of script opponents. So, how did you manage to get ready for today? I think I was really just talking nonsense because I was on a losing streak from solo queue. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot of practice today. And overall, for draft, you guys looked like you were going for the very lane-focused picks today. So what was your approach with the draft? I think we just literally went with the data that we had collected in terms of draft. And in the process, I think it was a lot smoother because our players and the coaching staff had really good understanding of the game currently. And in game 1, with the enemy bot carrying some momentum, it wasn't easy, but you guys turned everything around with that one big play at the end, and you guys actually didn't really look happy even after that win. So what was the feedback like after? Yeah, although we did win the game in the end, the enemy did so well. There were a lot of accidents, so I think that's why. And in game 2, we got Tristana top and Camille support from you guys, and obviously these are cards that would be really tough to read for your opponents. So what was your thinking behind them? Our players have such wide champion pools, so I think that's what we try to really prioritize and utilize. So yeah, I think Tristana and Camille, I think we just had a really good angle to pull them out. And with Loki subbing in today at game 3, you faced both Roamer and Loki. So going into game 3, what did you have in mind? Yeah, Loki has shown up after a long time, and I have actually faced him and played him in the past. And I think I have a good understanding of his champion pool as well, so I think we just tried to lead the draft the way we wanted it to go. And in game 3, we saw another unique combo, Mel and Shen. So what kind of prep went into that? You know, with the new patch, just against the opponent's comp, it looked like Mel Shen would have been really good. So I think it was a kind of a spontaneous decision to go for it. And Career actually utilized 19 unique picks across LCK rounds 1 and 2, which made him the number 1 in terms of champion pool. And you guys added Camille and Shen into that pool, so it must feel like such a huge asset. Yeah, he's such a huge asset, and he's actually such a reliable player because he is able to pull off so many different champions. So yeah, he's been very, very helpful. And game 2 was a 22-minute game, and game 3 was a 24-minute game. D plus Kia is absolutely speedrunning, so how are you guys able to end the game so quickly? I think from Brion's perspective, just losing that game 1 probably affected their games 2 and 3, and that's why we were able to sort of carry the momentum on forward. And right away, you guys will meet KT tomorrow in round 2. So what is your mindset? We'll make sure to win tomorrow so that we can actually go ahead and advance to Wonju. We'll make sure to show you guys a great performance that you guys can all look forward to. And that is all from Showmaker, and back to the desk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear, for the absolutely glorious translation. And yes, we are here to break down that 3-0 for D+, which was predicted by Ji-sun, who flip-flopped, although I guess it was a mistake earlier in the day when she predicted 3-0 to Bro, so I owe you an apology there, Ji-sun, for calling you out when your prediction was indeed alive, but it's only me, Ji-sun, and Jonas Strong.
Yeah, I didn't actually even see Jonas earlier. I thought it was just you and Ji-sun.
True. Yeah. I think that we should start hiding Jonas Strong's predictions because we don't want to spoil the series.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Dagon is Dagon, and Umpty was an ex-bro who believed. He was a bro-leaver.
Yeah.
I lost my bro leaf about 2 weeks ago.
Same.
You know, I wasn't on the hype train. Game 1 gave me a little feeling of like maybe, and then after that it's just.
I mean, I think you'd lose it now because now, bro, are officially
Mathematically eliminated. No!
They are mathematically eliminated, but at the same time, you know, I mean, I was the biggest bro fan as well, but I think after we see like so many times them having a great early game and fall out in the mid game, you know, there's no trust anymore. Sadly.
Yeah. Oh no. So even the leader of the bro fan club has jumped ship. Maybe Digon can actually be the leader of the bro fan club again. But we'll have to have that conversation in a few months when we are going to see them again in the right group. I think it's now time to have a look at some of the POM results because we were a bit surprised that Showmaker did take it. 6 out of 13.
We knew it was going to be a bottom row situation, but I was surprised that there weren't as many, or there were. It's literally just you and me who did the career vote. I think Showmaker is a fine
that it was going to
vote.
be Lucid. I just knew that in my bones that it was going to be Lucid, but it was Showmaker.
V and Cast, they're not on the bottom row, but we can consider them a bottom row voter because they always vote bottom lane.
They do.
They are just always vote bottom lane for some reason.
Maybe there's some lag between Vietnam and Korea, and it just like stays like it's lagged out, and it's just only bot lane votes every time.
I mean, to be fair, this game, I mean, this series in general, it was really hard to pick up one player who played good, you know, because I think Siu also had such a great game in general. So I think it was like pretty much every single player did really well, and the game was really one-sided, so it was rough. But for me, the main reason why I voted for Career is because of also because of the playstyle, but like I think his champion pool helped a lot in terms of the draft. So I think basically D plus Kia really had their top side in the first 3, right? And I think that means you can have the strong top side. And then if you're be able to like play the lane okay in the 4 or 5, then that means that like it's an auto win from the draft, right? And I think that's what they did. They had the Mel bot lane with the Camille. I mean, what was it?
In this case, the Shen.
Oh yeah, the Shen. Shen, Camille, and the Milio plus the AD carry. So I think overall they had such a great plan to have the strong top side and being okay on the 4 or 5. So I think that was my strong point when I come to like a POM vote here.
Yeah. I just I felt the same. What? Career is evolving, and right now Effort is like Effort's like trying to hold B. He's like, no, don't let it evolve. I think that there's been an evolution of this player, right? We started off his time in this team, D plus K. Atlas and I commentated him accidentally going Aftershock on Nami. He ended up winning that game, but he's been a nervous player who struggled under pressure to being an extremely complicated player. And now, you know, when you play like the old OG Pokemon games, you're playing Red and Blue, and you have like your Charizard, and it's like your main, and you could beat the whole game with basically just your main Pokemon. I feel like they kind of beat these drafts by just leaning on career, right? With the Shen pick, the Camille pick. So flexible. The Milio that they went early to deny the Lucian flexibility, then they pivoted the bottom lane
Based on his
draft.
flexibility, though, I feel like Career has basically filled out his Pokedex, Wolf.
Maybe
there's a lot of different options.
Maybe he's not evolving at all. Maybe he's just Ditto. You know, maybe he can transform into anything.
There you go. You've been playing some Pokopia recently. I like that one a lot. So maybe we can call him Career Wizard from now on. As Ox with the Showmaker vote, spending a little bit of time in the bottom row himself. It's the worst feeling when you have to lane against Showmaker.
Yeah, I think...
we knew that he was going to say it's the worst feeling about something. I guess this one does fit the best.
I mean, I think the Civimax, when he comes to the team, like he always focus on the solo queue, and I think it definitely works out. I think many players in D plus Kia now just spamming solo queue, and definitely Showmaker is the one who enjoys the solo queue as well. And I think definitely it shows off.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we can have a look at some of the others. Lucid was playing inside the enemy jungler's head. And yeah, and I actually think that Lucid had a phenomenal game. His Lee Sin was absolutely a day out. Obviously, the Wukong, he overextended a few times. The game was over at that point, so it didn't even really matter too much, but he really did crush the early game that time as well. And I think his pathing was fantastic.
Now, let's see, Cloud Templar mentions another spotless performance today. Now he's the veteran guiding D+. Plus, it does kind of feel that way in Lucid's best games, right? I do agree with Cloud Templar on what happened today. I think that's not always necessarily the case for Lucid, but we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Yep. And the last one, Umpty here with striking back and aggressive play. What's his limit? Well, the sky, I guess. would be what it is. We're not actually sure. I feel like Lucid hasn't quite hit it just yet because we saw like the mechanical prowess in Challenger. Hasn't necessarily reached that here in the LCK, but has gone back to more cerebral play. So very impressive stuff. And now D+ Kia will be moving forward for tomorrow's best of 5 after this 3-0 sweep over the Bros. The Bros only really there for game 1, and then they just kind of left. And now DK versus KT, and this is really difficult and really annoying because I knew what I was going to do if the Bros won for my prediction of the next series. Now I have no idea who I'm going to predict.
Yeah, even though DK, they had to play back-to-back, I don't think today was the day they put a lot of effort, to be honest. And I think...
Yeah, he'll be playing tomorrow.
You know, you got me here.
I was thinking about effort the whole time, so I just went straight into
True.
My apologies.
But anyways, like I think, you know, they didn't show up anything special. Kogmo is still in the bank.
Oh, that's true.
Cho'Gath.
Some Malawi.
Laloli as well. Like so many picks in there.
I think tomorrow comes down to, do you trust Cousin BDD or back linked together, or we're going to have some early game errors. So I think KT's super inconsistent right now.
Well, we'll see what D+ can do about it. But if you guys feel like you haven't had enough LCK, you can hop over to X/Twitter and go and check out the LCK Feud survey that is up and available. I think I'm going to be dealing with the next one. I have no idea who's alongside me, but I'm a little bit nervous and excited to participate.
Spoil?
It's me.
Oh, wow, the reveal on the show. That's very cool. Thanks, Wolf. All right, so it's you and I, and I'm a little bit...
We're going to feud!
We're going to feud really hard, and then we're going to cast together immediately afterwards. Hopefully we don't say anything mean, because that would be really difficult. But now, that is enough for the LCK for our first best of 5 of the road to MSI. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for another best of 5. We'll see you there.
See ya. KT에 대한 어떤 예상치라든가 기대가 완전 달라질 것 같고요.
5년에 한 이렇게 풀립니다. 넥서스가 파괴됩니다. 북벌 성공 21차.
한진브리온, 브리온의 역사상 최고의 전성기죠. 홍사령관의 자리를 위임받았습니다. 덴지가 리그 1왕일 때부터 계속 보여줬던 그 승리의 흐름 나왔습니다. T1이라는 팀을 보면요, 계속 성장하는 팀이라는 게 느끼는 게 슈퍼 플레이를 확실히 보여줘요. 누구도 그들을 막을 수 없습니다. 1을 확정되었습니다. 누가 왕인지 결과로 증명합니다. 하나 승리. They are back to
Every sky's a line I've drawn. Every wall is a sign I've worn. I don't just win, I carve my name into the stone against a I don't just win, I live my mark into the stone.